Hello and welcome back. It's Thursday night. Everybody's saying happy birthday. It is the wife's birthday. Happy birthday. This is the first time she's been here live. She's been on a couple pickup videos and some Patreon things, but first time she's been here live. Ben Affleck, I guess. Ben Affleck, not Affleck.
We do share the same birthday.
Oh, interesting. You and a Jonas brother or something, right?
Yeah, Joe Jonas.
All right. Hey, Aaron's here. What's going on, Aaron? So, first of all, yes, this is my wife. Hello, everybody. Her name is Laura. She's amazing. Tonight, we are going to be going over the usual stuff, and then after, we're going to be doing a short Q&A if anybody wants to ask the wife anything, or Disney trivia round two. That's really funny. Or if anybody wants to ask anything or ask her for a story, anything like that. And then after that, we're going to list some of our favorite actors and actresses and things that we really appreciate them in. So we're going to be doing that after the announcements tonight. First off, how you doing? Hello. Anything you want to say to everybody?
Thank you for having me and welcoming me to the show and being here to watch me.
If you'll notice, there's a lot of our regulars that are not in the chat tonight. I've had a large number of people saying they're going to see Alien Romulus tonight, so they won't be here live. There's also a couple of people that are sick, hoping for everybody to get better soon. But usually at this part of the show, we talk about recent pickups and things that we've watched recently. So we're going to go over those real quick. Let's do that first. Sibner's making a joke. Is Ryan really allowed to buy more discs? First off, thing that came in this week, the newest issue of the Physical Media Advocates. Thanks, Vanna.
I got a
You can hold it. Erica's here. Yeah, you can pick up issue 11 in a whole bunch of retail locations or on Amazon as usual. Yeah, that light is killer on that one. This issue is pretty crazy. We got some great stuff on Laurence Olivier, the Wilhelm Scream. Chris from They Live by Film wrote on Michele Soavi. We got some exclusive interviews, including one with Amelia Kincaid, which is freaking great. So glad that we have that. So check it out. Yeah, I think that you'll like it. That's it for that one. Next thing that came in is a contributor copy of oh, sorry, Vanna, didn't mean to take your job. Door to Door Maniac and Right Hand of the Devil. This is from Film Masters, and Will and I did a visual essay on this one. We did a visual essay on the B-side on this one. The Door to Door Maniac has it has its own extra features, and then Right Hand of the Devil, we did a visual essay on Aram Catcher, and it's really great. I hope people enjoy this one and check it out. Film Master is always pretty cheap, so it's one of the best ones to get. Look at that. You can recognize that name.
Yes.
Well, I think first time revealed to my wife, the only thing that was bought in LA, the Saw X Steelbook. You can see it in person.
I can't ever get rid of it.
Take off the slip so you can see the inside.
Oh my goodness. If you don't know me, Saw is my favorite series. I love it. Oh my goodness.
Saw is love. Saw is life.
It's so shiny. And they're eyeballs.
They are eyeballs. All right. And then what we watched this week. First, together, we watched Secretary from Orbit. Not Orbit, from Imprint. What did you think of Secretary this week?
It was good. I haven't watched a lot of Maggie Gyllenhaal, so it was nice seeing her in something that was kind of risque.
Especially for the time, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it overall.
It's a good movie. There's a couple things that bugged me this time that didn't bug me the first time. The score is kind of repetitive, is the way I'll say it. It doesn't necessarily work for me, but the story's great, and I'm glad that they put it out when they did. Nice. Aaron first saw at a press screening, hung out with James Wan and Leah Whannell.
Jealous.
The other one, Laura didn't finish this one, but we watched Eight Eyes this week, or one and a half of us watched Eight Eyes this week. What did you think of what you saw from Eight Eyes? Do you remember any of it?
No.
So Eight Eyes, this was the people traveling overseas, and they get picked up by the guy to go check out the abandoned town.
Yeah. Okay. I watched more of that than you think I did.
Okay.
I liked it. The guy. Hi, Pumpkin. Thank you. Brain fart. Sorry. I think from experience, you guys know that I typically fall asleep during movies. And unfortunately, I fell asleep at the end. However, thank you, Courtney. Ryan said that it wasn't like a great ending, so I'm not terribly sad that I missed it. It was okay.
It wasn't just the ending. I wanted a lot more plot out of the entire thing. It felt to me like a mix. I can't remember what my Letterboxd review says now. It's like a mix of, I guess, Hostel and I don't know, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a way. I don't know. I wanted more plot, and not necessarily to explain things, because there are some supernatural aspects of it. It was filmed all right. It was totally fine. Acting was good and all that. I just wanted a little bit more of a story out of it. Unfortunately, did we watch anything else this week? I know we started one last night. We got to finish that one still.
I don't think so. Not aside from TV stuff.
Yeah, lots of. Well, I mean, we can check in on that. We've, as I've reported before, we've been watching The Sopranos together. How you feeling about that?
I love it. Love all of it.
We are almost halfway through the 5th season, I believe, which means we got like 1.5 seasons left finally, and we'll be done with that. And then we get to choose another show. And I think the next one's supposed to be a comedy.
And by we, he means him, because I never have any input on what show is
That's
picked.
not true in the least bit. This is public record now. Come on.
Yeah, I'm putting it out there.
We have lists in our notes that we go over together.
And then he picks and he says, this is what we're watching.
After you give input. You're right. Let's see. Recent things that we've watched. You've not been able to give an opinion on things like Twisters or Long Legs. What is from the last year, like a couple of the standout watches, not just in theaters, but in theaters or at home that we've watched?
You're asking me about the last
I'm
year.
asking you to remember. Yes.
Oh goodness. I think I was expecting more from Long Legs. I mean, I liked the character that he was, but I just wanted more of him.
Oh, the cage.
Yeah. And I don't know. There was a little disappointment there, I think, with it. Twisters, I mean, we watched the first one before watching the second one. It's really intense. It's really loud if you're watching it in the theater.
Sure was.
Obviously super dramatic. I don't think it's something that I'd be like, yeah, let's go see it again in the theater. But sorry. I liked it overall, especially from it being so far apart from the first one. I think they did well having a second one.
I agree. That's funny. All right. I think that's probably it. Did you want to, I think you said you wanted to show everybody your shirt.
Ryan got me a shirt and it is so awesome. This is to the 90s Nickelodeon kids. Ooh. Zeke the plumber. Oh my goodness.
That's the camera.
I know.
And it says Camp Onawan at the bottom.
Yeah.
So hopefully that hits a lot of nostalgia for a lot of people. So you can understand what it's from.
I think I could sing the whole theme song if I wanted to.
God, I might be able to as well. Anthony says nice t-shirt, and also thank you, Anthony. Anthony's the one that helped me be able to get that shirt.
Oh, thank you, Anthony.
Everybody's happy. Eric says, whoa, that shirt fucking rocks.
It is. Salute Your Shorts was awesome.
Erica, it is from from a Nickelodeon TV show, and it's great.
Yep. Salute Your Shorts.
Loving it. All right. Anything else you want to go over before announcements?
I'm just here.
She is mostly here for after the announcements. And let's, as Reggie says, let's duet. Let's go over these. For the most part, Laura's probably not going to have a bunch of opinions on these. Most of these she's probably never heard of. I will throw to her for a couple, like we've got an Are You Afraid of the Dark announcement we're going to talk about tonight. But Erica, do people get slimed? That's the only Nick show I know. That's hilarious.
Not on that show.
Not Salute Your Shorts.
But there is a lot of slime shows on Nickelodeon from the 90s, yes.
All right. This week, we started out strong because Radiance got delayed last week. So the first one is coming on November 18th in the UK and the 19th in the US and Canada. Japan Organized Crime Boss. Here is the cover art for this one. This is another Yakuza film coming from Radiance. Brand new 4K restoration from Toei. It is going to have some interviews on here that are brand new, a visual essay on Koji Saruda's collaborations with Fukasaku, and we've got some reversible art as usual, plus their regular booklet with new writing by Stuart Galbraith IV and some archival reviews of the film. Excited for this. I'm sure this is going to be great. The first release that they did last year, A Big Time Gambling Boss, this stars the same lead. And Big Time Gambling Boss was a big hit, so I'm sure people are going to love this one. Moving on to our next one from Radiance. This one is Slap the Monster on Page 1 from 1972. This one is also coming on November 18th in the UK and the 19th in the US and Canada. This one is another 4K restoration that was done overseas. This one is going to include some archival interviews, some newly filmed interviews as well. An appreciation by Alex Cox on this. Pretty cool. And then a new limited edition booklet with writing by Wesley Scherer. And you can pick that up everywhere that carries Radiance. Oh, it is. I think it is the same one from Sympathy for the Underdog. Yeah, these Radiance releases are crazy high quality. Loving these. Going to our next one. This one is November 18th in the UK only, not coming in the US. This is The Story of Adele H. from 1975. You might recognize Isabelle Adjani on the cover. She is from Possession, of course. This one directed by Francois Truffaut. This one is going to have some archival interviews on here, some interviews with cinematographers, a new interview with the critic on this one as well, and then a booklet with archival writing. This one, I'm not sure. I think this one had another U.S. release, but I totally get it. Hey, Mom, I'm glad you found your way home. We all went to dinner, and my mom called me, unable to find her way out because a couple of the exits were blocked off. Yes, Radiance always killing it with the cover art. I don't know what they are doing special, but they have the art nailed to a T for sure. It had a Twilight Time. That's what I thought. I almost said Kino, but yeah, that makes sense. It's a very Twilight Time type of release. Oh, and Sibner says Kino as well. Maybe it had both already, and that's why it's not coming out in the U.S. now. That would make sense. All right, and then the next one is the one I think I'm most excited about from these four. November 18th in the UK only. This is Panic in Year Zero, starring Ray Milland. This is the backside of it. Again, great art. You want to say what's on your mind?
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yep, I'm good.
All right. This one is mastered in HD from the 35mm fine grain positive. Audio commentary from 2016 on this one. New interview with Kim Newman. Ray Milland archival interview from 1972. Some other archival interviews. And then the booklet on this with new writing by Christina Newland. And yeah, this one looks great. Yes, another Kino title. will receive all these Radiance releases in December, January in your 6-month package. That box is going to be massive. I'm stoked for people getting that. What's going on, Key Ray and Blake? Another Keynote title. Yes, that is immediately what made my wife laugh. An orgy of looting and lust. Eric. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. That is it for Radiance. And moving on to other high-class art. 2024's Borderlands that just released recently is getting an Amazon exclusive 4K steelbook that you can pre-order now. This is the newest Eli Roth film. Speaking of, you've liked some Eli Roth stuff. We also did the Eli Roth Goratorium in Vegas. You want to share any stories about that?
I love horror so much. I'm such a wimp when it comes to like horror houses and stuff like that. But it was really fun. I'm sad that it's gone. I've loved what we've watched of his. Is it a mini series or whatever?
Oh, the history of horror on Shudder.
Yep, I've enjoyed watching that. Yeah, I like the stuff that he seems to put out.
Good. That is good. I think a lot of people think he's a douchebag for some reason. I've never heard of any reason to think that. What's going on, Josephine? Josephine says, hello, Mrs. Verrill.
Hello.
Moving right along, we've got Real Vault Inc. putting out The Proud Rebel from 1958. This is coming on August 27th on Blue, so just a couple weeks. This is Alan Ladd, and we've got Olivia de Havilland in this one. And the big one, this is directed by Michael Curtis. We got an audio commentary by Scott Harrison on this, and a captivating industrial film from 1940 called Unfinished Rainbows. Should be interesting. This is a big one. A lot of people have been after this one, so I'm glad this is coming out. Next one. This surprised a lot of people this week. American Movie from 1999 is getting a 4K release. The big deal here, however, is that the Coven short film is included in the extras on this time. For some reason, it was not included in the Blu-ray release that came out last fall. This is all coming out October 15th from Sony Pictures Classics. Stoked on this one.
Did Jeremy tell you he was going to be on the cover of a movie?
That joke has been made so many times, and it's so perfect.
Yeah, it's like Jeremy mixed with Napoleon Dynamite or something. Sorry, Jeremy.
No, he'd probably agree with you. American Movie is quite literally perfect. Everybody should own this. If you're a big fan of films, this is something that you should watch once every couple of years, just to get reinvigorated. Yeah, it's been a long time. It wasn't included on the Blue. Yeah, everybody should be watching this, period. TerraVision last Friday quietly just sort of dropped on their website that they are putting out Frogman. This is from 2023, and this is getting a big fancy deluxe edition. This is the first hardbox release from TerraVision like this. It is going to have like I said, a big hard box, and it's going to have a booklet inside that's more of like a book length, and it's got a. Let's go through the special features on this one specifically because it sounds hilarious. Slide loader box, embossed slipcover, perfect bound book with writing by the director of Frogman. A couple others, and Brad also wrote on this one. It's got a fold-out poster, a postcard from Loveland, and then a CD soundtrack. And then the special features on this, there's all kinds of special features, basically everything that you could ever hope for. And I hope I include it on the next one. Because, okay, let's take a look at the next one. They also are releasing this giant deluxe edition that comes with a t-shirt, your choice of two, comes with a Frogman mug and some others. But the best thing, both of these are coming with a soundtrack of, I believe it's 50 different frog sounds. Now, the way they are describing this on the website is what makes this hilarious. And I'm going to read this word for word because it sounds so funny, just literally said out loud. TerraVision has traveled to the far corners of the U.S. and Canada for the last 6 months to record the unique voices of frogs and toads for this release. We hope you enjoy these riveting earthly sounds of these beloved amphibians. And yes, there are 38 different frog sounds on this.
I'm going to need you to do a couple.
I have not been able to do the sound check on those. So unfortunately, I cannot repeat them. Okay. Let's see. We got some other comments to catch up on. Eric says, I wish someone would release Christmas American Job. Josephine, new watches since the last one. Sheila, Central Station, Abominable, Dr. Fives, nice. Shanghai Express, Throwdown, Almost Human, Ghost Breakers, Witchfinder General, classic, loving those. Let's see. Bran Peterson, what's going on? Is TerraVision still doing their announcement podcast? Haven't seen one in a few months. Yes, they are, or we are. However, I should say that. Beyond that, they're changing things up a little bit. We're going to be doing another version of a podcast for this soon, but what they're going to be doing over the next month or two is more single announcements like this, because they're dropping some special titles, and we're going to be rounding some of those up in some podcasts as well. However, this one did not get its own episode. We will be talking about Frogman soon, I promise. They can never complain about budget again. It's rather hilarious. So that's Frogman. How you like that art? I really love this one in the middle.
Yeah. I think that's about the only one that I like.
Do you like the shirt? MILF, man, I love Frogman.
Nope.
Oh my gosh, this is perfect. Yeah, everybody should check this out. Going to our next title, Annie Laurie from 1927 getting a Blu-ray release on August 13th, which was 2 days ago. They did not announce this one ahead of time, so they just sort of quietly dropped this. Kino Classics put this out. This has an audio commentary by Anthony Slide on here. But yeah, again, this is a big one, 1927, starring Lillian Gish. Not super exciting that this, not super surprised that this one is getting released. However, exciting anytime that we get anything that's pre-code like this on a good HD release. Moving right along, The West Wing, the complete series, coming to Blu-ray on October 1st. This one is selling pretty well from what I've heard, actually. A lot of people are after this. You've never seen The West Wing at all, have you?
It was put on in junior government class.
Oh, interesting.
He would always, you know who he is.
Yep.
Would always have it on. I don't know why.
I for a split second, I thought you were going to say your dad had it on, and then I realized no, he never would have had that on. Not leaning enough one direction. Next, these I actually got contacted by the label to see if I could start covering their stuff, and Sam Hell is somebody that I've seen some releases before, but wanted to be able to showcase these next two. August 20th, they are releasing Vania from 2019. And this is one that I'm going to read out loud just because I'm going to see my wife look a little wide-eyed. Dive back into the blood-soaked world of Vania with this exclusive Blu-ray release, returning to the spotlight with a limited edition slipcase. This graphic, erotic vampire exploitation horror offers a gruesome and thrilling journey through Hollywood's glitz and grime. Featuring gory practical effects and a storyline drenched in blood, Vania is a must-have for extreme horror enthusiasts. There will be a free 11x17 poster, and you can pre-order this now. This is one that I have seen get a couple Blu-ray releases before. Now, you've subjected yourself to some of the more extreme horror with me. Any of those that you've actually enjoyed? Probably not.
Define extreme.
Like the John Wayne Gacy one?
No. That one was hard to get through, and we didn't even get through it. I had to stop. Do
you remember, I think it was last October for our 31 Days of October, we put on, I'm not going to say this correctly out loud, Thanatomorphos, I believe. The guy that kept like stabbing himself with the syringe, and then like halfway through the film, this giant penis sculpture starts coming into his house, and it's like, what the fuck is this? Did not make sense. Next one from Sam Hill, Nuclear Girls. This is coming on September 2nd. This is a 2024 film. And this says it's an experimental adult horror film brought to life by the same minds behind Flesh Eater X. Set against a searing black metal soundtrack, this uncensored XXX feature tells the chilling tale of a girl who conjures an unsuspecting being to become the ultimate sacrifice for her sinister desires. And I love that we have Celeste immediately calling herself out saying, looks like my kind of thing. Amazing. Let's go to our next one. Kind of surprising on this one. Kino announced Summer Rental from 1985, starring the one and only John Candy, coming to Blue, whenever they feel like it. We'll get a release date someday. This one also has Rip Torn, Joey Lawrence, John Larroquette, Carl Reiner. This is, it's directed by Carl Reiner. Big deal title on this one. Glad that this is coming out. I do think that this is the first Blu-ray release anywhere in the world of this one, if I remember right. So that's a big deal. I'm always glad to see Kino doing more and more of those. Road Games, it was the next announcement from Kino. This one is coming on 4K. This one will have a brand new Dolby Vision Master. We don't know when this is coming out. However, this movie's amazing. And I know that some people were kind of anti this being announced because this just got a Blu-ray release from Scream Factory a few years ago. This got a Blu-ray release in the UK from Indicator a handful of years ago. I believe somebody in Australia has released this as well. So in the HD era that we're in, this is like the 4th or 5th release on HD for this film. But it deserves a 4K. It's an interesting looking movie. I'm glad this is coming out. Jamie Lee Curtis is great in this. Stacy Keach is fantastic in this. This is a big one. I like this movie. All right. October 15th, Paramount and Nickelodeon are releasing Are You Afraid of the Dark? The limited series. Just the 3 new seasons that they've done. This is coming on DVD only. But the big thing about this is it really showcases Umbrella did it. Thanks, Key-Ray. This really showcases why all of us are always championing physical media in one way or another, because these were only released on streaming. I believe the first 1 or 2 of these series got DVD releases on their own. But the 3rd limited series, you can't even stream on Paramount Plus anymore. So if you want that 3rd series, this will be the only way to own it. I'm glad this is getting a release. I'm glad that we're coming out and being able to get these. However, so many people are upset that this is not the original release of all of the, 7 seasons? 6 seasons? Do you remember?
I think 6 sounds right.
I don't know if anybody in the chat knows for sure. First off, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I know that you're a fan. You wanna say anything about Are You Afraid of the Dark and how we subjected our kids to that for the first time finally?
They don't know what's good yet. Like,
can't account for taste.
No, I mean, I rewatched this as an adult because the Midnight Society was what I went to when I was a kid. I could tell you all of the stories that they tell. I know all of the stories still, probably word for word, some of them, because I watched them so many times. I watched a little bit of the new limited series. It just doesn't, it's not the original. And I like what they were trying to do and continue what the Midnight Society started. But it won't ever be the original and better.
I don't remember. Did we finish the whole first series? I think that was the circus one.
Mm-hmm. I think we did.
Okay.
I don't think we went past that.
The funny thing, like, I don't remember how it ends. I think I remember the first episode, but I don't know. It felt, I think it also felt weird doing it as a series.
Right.
Not just single contained episodes.
Right.
I don't know. I could have done better with something like the original series. You want to shout out like 3 or 4 favorite episodes?
Ooh. Why you put me on the spot like that? Yes, I do. Bozo the Clown, sorry. And the frick, I'm not gonna know. I can't. When I'm put on the spot, I can't do it. The Phantom one where you got to draw, you got to chant, and the Phantom comes through the wall.
You really love, I don't know if it was called the Dollhouse, but the one that was a dollhouse.
The Midnight Ride, I think, is another one.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
Good job. Another movie we both like. What is that? Oh, is that just the reboot?
No, this was the
new ones.
7. Oh, The Tale of the Left. There we go. Okay.
Okay, so it did have 7 seasons.
Yep.
It had 5 seasons from 92 to 95, and then 2 more in 99. Wild. Okay, so next release, once again, Scream Factory up to their same bullshit. October 8th, there is a Walmart exclusive 4K Steelbook of The Strangers coming out. This is coming out a month after the regular 4K release from Scream. However, Scream just doesn't announce this. They've not posted...
Thank you, Courtney.
They've not posted on social media. This isn't on their website. They've not said, hey, we're doing a Steelbook, just up for order. And if you're not cruising Walmart or following The Disconnected, you don't even know that this exists, which is crazy. I feel like a lot of people would be after this. It's a great movie. You like The Strangers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I also like The Ghastly Grinner. I saw that in the comments.
That's the one, the Jester mask?
Yeah, the drawing in the comic book. When are they going to finish it?
That's a good one. Why is her head not the top of the house? That is a great question. They also are putting out a second Dances with Wolves Steelbook. Now, this is wild. So, Shout Factory was selling a limited edition Dances with Wolves Steelbook for like 6 years that they couldn't get rid of, and suddenly announced that it was going out of print. And then out of nowhere, guess what? The exact same disc is on sale in a new Steelbook. It's a Walmart exclusive. In like 6 months, you'll be able to buy it everywhere, whatever. But on top of that, it is. I just read Courtney's comment. It made me laugh while I was trying to talk. It's the exact same thing. And in a world where he is trying to put out 4 Western epics, how do you not put a little bit of time and energy into making Dances with Wolves a 4K release? And honestly, capitalize on that in any way. It makes no sense to me. Like, I love Kevin Costner. I love Dances with Wolves on 4K, but this is wild. Just do the right thing and release the movie however everybody wants it. 2 Steelbooks for the same movie makes no sense when you couldn't sell the first one. Rant over. Hey, we're going to talk about the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network a few times tonight. The first one is to shout out Adam Lundy from the They Live by Film podcast. He is now doing the Radiance podcast, and it's kind of incredible. The first episode that Radiance podcast is hosting is including Fran from Radiance. They go through a lot of things. Adam is a wonderful host. I hope everybody checks it out. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming in the future from them. Adam does great work, and it's an incredible addition to the network. Glad that we have it for sure. Then next, once again, Universal doing something that's going to piss a lot of people off. October 8th, there is this Walmart exclusive 4K Steelbook coming of Five Nights at Freddy's. First off, this is one that you got to see. How did you feel about this one? Do you remember watching this? Because I just saw your eyes glaze over.
It freaks me out. These animatronic things, it like too Chuck E. Cheesy for me. And it's just creepy. I don't know. But then like Spencer likes it, and he's our sweet kid, and he's all about Five Nights at Freddy's. So
the big thing, this was released in I think it was about 6 or 7 months ago as a Blu-ray release only in the US. Or no, I'm sorry, it got a 4K release and it didn't get a Steelbook. And so now everybody's like, well, why didn't you release this the first time? We would have waited for this. So people are feeling like they're being forced to buy it twice from the studio because the studio is not able to do the right thing and release it all at once. But also, They're doing it again for the Halloween trilogy. This is already the second or third Halloween trilogy re-release, which is crazy. I'm going to ask your opinion on these three, but this is, once again, the 2018 Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends for the second or third time in a 4K Steelbook. Is it worth it? Should they be released so many times? How'd you feel about these three?
I think Halloween is one of the best out there. I think shut up. I think Jamie Lee Curtis is fantastic. I think we've talked about like the third one being the odd one out, the one with the TV and the weird song.
That's in the original. These are the brand new ones.
No, I know.
Okay.
I'm just talking about
the whole franchise.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah. I'm like, I really want Michael to die. He just never dies. But I'm here for however many they want to put out because I always like it.
You do remember the ending of Halloween Ends, right?
No.
All right. Never mind.
He's never gonna die. It's not gonna happen.
Okay. I don't think this was necessary. This is. I don't hate all three of them either. I think that they're all fine and good, but also we don't need 17 releases of these. But it's the most exploited, anyways. Altered Innocence putting out Suicide Room from 2011. This is coming on Blu-ray on October 8th. From what I can tell, this is not getting a Diabolic exclusive slipcover. This is just going to be a wide standard release. And speaking of Altered Innocence, they did say that their slipcover for The People's Joker is on the way out already. They were limiting it to 3,000, and it's almost sold out. So if you want one of those that's exclusive to Diabolic DVD, you might. I'm not trying to induce FOMO for anybody, but if you wanted that slip, they have warned it's close to being gone, so you may want to go get it sooner than later if you're after it. And this sounds good. So I'm going to read this. This says, young Dominic is pressured to succeed by his wealthy and successful power couple parents. And with only 100 days to go before final exams, Dominic is on target to graduate with top marks and gain entry into the finest university. After a dare at a school formal where he gets to kiss his crush, Alexander, the social media that Dominic is so invested in explodes with commentary about the event. Daunted by the thought of returning to school where even Alexander mocks him, he reverts from real life and logs into the virtual world. Cloaked in his avatar, Dominic meets Sylvia, who introduces him to the suicide room where he meets others just like him. Soon enough, Dominic struggles to decipher what is real as common virtual experiences bleed dangerously into reality. And this is being reintroduced to U.S. audiences, but this is the first, I believe, home video release of this one, and I'm very, very eager to see this. This looks great. Yes, completely agree, Key-Ray, and they absolutely will. They will milk all of the Friday the 13th stuff as long as they can. Suicide Room looks great. Moving to our next one, we got a couple announcements from Visual Vengeance for the first time in quite some time. These are both going to be coming on October 22nd. This first one I am pretty excited about. This is Kung Fu Rascals from 1992. This is going to have a brand new feature-length doc on here as well with hours behind-the-scenes footage and extras. The big thing is this was directed by Steve Wang. And you've got Les Claypool in this. Not that Les Claypool, another one. But I love that it's the same name. This one sounds great, looks like a lot of fun. And as always, with all of the Visual Vengeance stuff, loaded with special features. You've got some extras that are going to be in this. You've got a slipcase, a 12-page comic book. Looks like a pretty fantastic release. I'm glad that they're doing this. The other one we will talk about in just a second. But first, the Babadook. How do you feel about the Babadook?
Another good one.
Do you remember it at all?
I think so.
The Babadook is getting a 10th anniversary Blu-ray release from RLJE in the US on October 22nd. And this is wild. This is only wild because it's coming after Second Sight put out the definitive release of this on 4K over in the UK, and RLJE is going backwards in multiple ways. They're stealing, essentially, all of the extras from the Second Sight release and they dropped archival extras. So to celebrate the 10th anniversary, if you really want, you can purchase this vastly inferior version of the film that already exists elsewhere in a much superior way. Absolutely love this movie. Completely recommend it for everyone. This is an awful release. I do not recommend this release at all.
How's it 10 years old already?
2014. It was a big deal. 2014, 10-year anniversary of this, The Witch, and another first-time director that year that I can't remember which one it was. Somebody else remember? There was another, it was like the trilogy of indie horror directors made their debut that year. I don't know why I'm blanking on the last one. But yeah, 2014 was a big deal. The next one, we've kind of talked about this before, but Anchor Bay is quote re-emerging because somebody bought the name and they're going to be releasing films again under the Anchor Bay title. However, it's not the same people, so it's going to be very different. But on December 10th, they're releasing Cursed in Baja from this year. And the crazy thing, this hasn't even premiered yet. This isn't playing until August 23rd at Fright Fest, but you can already pre-order the physical release of it that's coming out in 4 months. Hereditary was 2014. Yeah, that was a big hellish deal that year. Love Craig's comment on this. All I remember about Babadook was thinking, thank God I don't have kids. FOMO. My mom is asking, what is FOMO? FOMO is the fear of missing out. Yes, Jennifer Kent was Babadook. Did I say it wasn't? Oh, Hereditary was 2018. Wait, what is going on here? I thought Hereditary was later. There was something else that premiered in 2014. Not sure what it was. Hopefully somebody else realizes what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I'll think about it and put it in the comments later. So yeah, this one is coming out. This is a directed by Jeff Daniel Phillips, who's been in a bunch of the recent Rob Zombie flicks. It Follows. That's the one. Thank you, Joseph. Oh, was It Follows not a debut? Interesting. Oh, look, Brian's alive. What's going on, Brian? All right. That was that one. This is hilarious too. Universal is releasing a 4K steelbook of Get Out and Us. The only tie between these two films is they're both directed by Jordan Peele, and most people that want them have them. Why is this getting a double feature steelbook? This is so odd. Anyways, being released widely, you can pick this up. Yeah, this is interesting. Love both these movies, and actually we might be talking about one of them later tonight. Friday Night Lights from 2004, 20th anniversary on this one, is getting a 4K steelbook from Universal. Glad this is coming out. I know this is a lot of people's like favorite sports movie. Somehow, I don't think I've ever seen this. Have you seen this? Mm-mm. Yeah, I've heard it's great. Never saw the show either. Veep, the complete series, is coming out on Blu-ray on October 22nd. All 7 of the seasons of Veep have been released previously. This is just going to compile them all together. Glad this is coming out there. And yeah, obviously this is the perfect year to release a Veep complete series. This is going to be great. Eager to see how they package this, actually. This has got to be a lot of discs. And I hope they do it right, because obviously this is like one of the most beloved comedy shows of the 2000s. Oddity. This is a fairly new film. I don't know what that was. Fairly new film that is a Shudder exclusive. This is dropping on Blu-ray on October 22nd from RLJE. This is going to have behind the scenes and a storyboard, making of, and supposed to be like genuinely amazing. A lot of people are putting this up as the best horror film of the year so far, which beating Longlegs and God, a couple of the others. The First Omen came out this year. The Sydney Sweeney Nun movie came out this year. There's a couple others that made a big deal, but I need to see this. I've heard it's great. Lots of people that love the show never saw the movie, said the show was better. Great film and great score. HBO has fewer episodes, so I figured they can do without using a whole lot of discs. Maybe. Immaculate, that's the Sydney Sweeney one, yeah. That's a good question. You've seen all the same horror movies from 2024 that I have. What do you think is the best horror movie from this year so far? We saw Immaculate, we saw Late Night with the Devil, both of those in the theater. You saw Long Legs in the theater. There's been one or two others you've seen. Do you remember Late Night with the Devil at all?
Guys, I'm so sorry. Like, bing.
Yeah.
I feel like I liked Immaculate, but I can't tell you.
That's hilarious.
I remember stuff watching it more than once. And yeah, we could watch Hereditary on Movie Monday.
Abigail, that was a good one. That was a good one. Really good one. All right. Moving past my wife's memory. The next show that is joining the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network is the Force 5 podcast. This one is ran by Jason Kleberg. Jason has been a friend of the show for a long time. He was a part of the Shelf Shock Rewind Awards in the past. I've been on his show multiple times. We just did a special feature together for a found footage film called Flock. That was a lot of the letter F's. But yeah, the show is great. If you've never subscribed, please go do it. It is really one of the best film podcasts out there. Really love Jason's delivery. Really happy with it. Honored to have him be a part of the network. Genuinely love it. Ronnie says Immaculate starts streaming on Hulu tomorrow. Very nice. Yeah, I want to see Cuckoo as well, Courtney. Let's see. Hereditary with your mom. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. We have watched much worse with my mom, believe me. It's really funny. And look at that. Aaron says, just recorded an episode of the Force 5 podcast a couple hours ago. That's great. Can't wait to hear that one. Brick. This is hilarious. So October 15th, the 4K of Brick is coming out from Kino Lorber. And this got announced, I believe, in June or July of 2022. So by the time it comes out, it will be almost 2.5 years since the announcement to getting released. And I believe that's the current longest running announcement for Kino after they say that it's coming soon. Gotta love Brick. Really big fan of this movie, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, directed by Rian Johnson of Star Wars fame. We get a new audio commentary on this one by Jason A. Nye. And that's the only new bonus feature, but I'm excited to see this one in 4K. This is an amazing movie. Really happy with this. Wow, Craig saw an early screening of this in Westwood with a Q&A with Rian Johnson way back in the day. That's great. No, thank you, Alex. I will pass on watching Taboo with my mom. Lost in Translation, they first mentioned that last year, unfortunately. In fact, that might have even been early this year. Lost in Translation is not that long. Valmont holds the record, meaning like the longest lasting, or is it the current longest? Because that's all I meant, was this was the current longest. Anyways, that's a weird thing to debate. Here is the next Visual Vengeance title, finally. This one is Despiser. This one is from 2003. And like I said, for the other one, also coming on October 22nd. Now, a couple things about this. One, if you think this looks like a great release, I will caution you slightly. Go look up the trailer to Despiser on YouTube. Fans of the director will know what they're getting into, but essentially, this looks like a PlayStation 1 graphic design apprentice went out and made a movie, and it looks exactly like I just alluded to there. I really think people check it out in a way that is, what's the best way to say this? Brad Henderson in my Discord said it the best way. Everybody could enjoy this movie just with drugs. And then he posted again with a lot of drugs. So this looks like a lot of fun, but also I feel like I would get an immediate headache watching this movie. So check it out if you're interested. One more thing to entice you, Diabolic DVD just announced that if you buy both of the brand new Visual Vengeance titles in their combo that they have set up on their store right now, it's coming with the special little troll doll to commemorate these two films, and it looks great. Very curious on this one. Want to see what everybody's reception is primarily, but definitely go check out the trailer because, oh man, I almost should have downloaded that and played this at the end of the episode because it's crazy. Mother's Instinct from this year kind of got overlooked by Neon. It didn't get a huge rollout, it feels like. This is coming on Blu-ray on September 17th. This is starring Anne Hathaway and Jessica Chastain, two great actresses. This looks really good. I'm curious to see this one, and I've not heard many people talking about this one. Ronnie says, Frank from Kino says they're still waiting to hear from Sofia Coppola on Lost in Translation before they can move forward. Damn. Yeah, definitely looks like Jessica Lange there for sure. Next one, Curzon in the UK is releasing Paris, Texas. This is the 40th anniversary. Crazy. They're doing this one on 4K on November 4th. And there is, as far as I can tell, no new bonus features, just coming in a 4K release. Looks like a solid case. The artwork's okay, kind of ruined by the age rating there thing at the bottom to me. But the big thing, we already basically are confirmed to be getting this from Criterion in the next few months. Has not been announced yet, but Janice is doing the screening. And yeah, you can basically count on this coming to 4K. Probably hear the announcement by, I don't know, October or November at the latest, I'm assuming. Next one, September 10th, Media Blasters is releasing Hentai Common Forbidden Superhero. And yes, you are seeing what you think you're seeing in this cover.
Not much.
The title here doesn't tell you much, but then you read what Media Blasters is using as the copy. A hero wearing a mask and a mankini slays bad guys with deviant martial arts moves and crotch attacks. Now, what's even better, this one, if you go look up the listing on Amazon, it says a high school boy receives mysterious superpowers from panties. This looks amazing, and some people that I trust said that this is actually really great, and I've heard this is fantastic. I'm very curious to see this one. I hope this is funny as hell.
I think he's slaying with the fishnets.
It looks pretty good, yeah. Second Run over in the UK is releasing The Valley of the Bees from 1967. This will be coming on September 30th, and as usual is region free. This one is going to be coming with a new HD transfer from the best existing original materials. We got an all-new projection booth commentary with Mike White and friend of the channel, Robert Bellissimo, who does a YouTube channel called Robert Bellissimo Goes to the Movies. It's great. No, Thomas, from what I hear, that one is not softcore. It's mostly comedy. Michelle Kisner, who was just on the channel recently, she said she loves it. And she said there's a couple more that she hopes they put out as well. Valley of the Bees is also getting 2 short documentary films from the same director and a 24-page booklet with writing by Peter Hames. Once again, we talked about this last week, but Second Run, completely overlooked. They are great at what they do, and I hope people give them any more attention. Laurel and Hardy Year 2 is coming on Blu-ray and DVD from Flickr Alley on October 29th. The Year 2 in question is from 1928, after they came together. The shorts on this are all listed here. Yes, listed. Usually I'm not the only one talking through announcements, and I get to drink a little bit more. It's totally fine. Each film features a newly recorded score from some of the best silent film composers. We got commentaries for each film by historians. We've got some exclusive rare audio, additional scores. On location in Year 2, we've got some of the solo films that they did right before they teamed up. Complete 20-minute interview. There is so much in here, plus a souvenir booklet. Again, Flickr Alley is incredible, and they do some amazing work. Beyond that, I'm excited to watch these every time I put one in, because it seems like they look so much better than they should always. I really need to get the the Nazi Germany release that they just put out a couple months ago. Excited for that one. But yeah, Laurel and Hardy, year 2, coming out soon. Craig says they're good people, support them. Good call there. Criterion announcements came out today, and a lot of people are excited. I even saw a lot of people say that this is their best month ever. My response to that is, whoa, not even close. Let's go into these. First, these are all coming in November, in addition to that god-awful Criterion 40 box set that we talked about last week. This first one, coming on 4K on November 5th, is the original Godzilla from 1954. Okay, so I'm glad this is coming out. This is exciting. It's a big deal. It's a great movie. Obviously, everybody loves Godzilla for the most part. We even just did a really great episode of Film Foundations on the entire Godzilla franchise. Shout out to Celeste who did that with us. Criterion doesn't do anything to rejuvenate their Blu-ray releases. So if you already have it on Blu-ray, which we do, it's a new 4K release, and even this one is kind of a lesser 4K release because the Toei release, they removed all the film grain. It is DNR'd like crazy. So I don't know. It's not done in a way that was appealing to a lot of people that love that original film look, and so I'm almost guaranteed to be getting that Toei restoration that people did not like in Japan. So yeah, I'm glad that it's coming out. I just wish that they were doing it different. But the rest of the month, we've got some other good stuff to talk about too. Next is Scarface from 1932 coming on 4K and Blu-ray. This is the first time it was added to the collection. This is a big deal. November 12th, this is going to be coming out. Excuse me. I'm excited about this. This was, like I said on an episode of the Criterion Now podcast today, this was just treated like a bonus feature from the studio just a couple years ago, and now Criterion gets to show it some real love, and it's pre-code coming on 4K. That's a big deal. I'm glad that it's going to be out there. People can fall in love with it. Some good looking extras, but again, no commentary. Criterion just letting that go. Did you see this comment? Starting from the beginning, my wife worked at the Goratorium and we miss it as well. See you in the future present. Nice. Thanks, Josh. I love the art on this. I love what they're doing with this. I just wish they did a little bit better with the special features. There are a lot of people that would have loved to talk about this. They could have got a commentary for free. It's not that big of a thing. Next up, kind of the same as the Godzilla announcement. November 12th, we're getting a 4K of Seven Samurai. Okay, obviously this is a masterpiece. I'm not going to turn it down. This is great. I'm glad that people are going to be able to get this on 4K. But for me, if I'm buying one of the two 4Ks, I'm getting the BFI 4K. This Criterion release doesn't have any HDR. It has no new bonus features. The BFI release has a brand new audio commentary from Adrian Martin. It's most likely going to be cheaper unless you're getting this one on sale, which most people will, obviously. But yeah, no HDR in the Criterion release means there's basically no reason to get this over the BFI. This film deserves to be treated properly with HDR. Now, obviously, the HDR could be basically SDR in the HDR container. I don't know. I'm very, very curious to see what the reviews are going to say on these. A lot of people are going to buy this simply because it has a C on the cover. I'm not about that life. I gotta go with the BFI release. Thomas is saying 4K without HDR. Is that heresy? Unfortunately, that's becoming kind of the norm with a lot of these releases. Kino is doing a lot of SDR lately. These Criterion announcements, 3 of them don't have HDR. And this is technically, I think, the first month with all 4K. They had another month that was all 4K except for one title in the box set. But 3 out of all of their announcements, are 4K without HDR. I don't know. I know it's not cheap, Craig. I get that. But I don't know. You got to make the upgrade worth it for people. If you want people to give you $25+ all over again for a title most of them already own, you kind of got to make it worth it, right? I agree there, Alex. I think October was much better. Will something with that look benefit from HDR that much? Absolutely. The HDR allowing for the deeper blacks is probably one of the biggest, most important aspects of that. Seven Samurai has a lot of very deep black scenes that will absolutely shine if the HDR is done properly. And I think some of those old 4K releases that we've gotten so far with good HDR definitely show that for sure. Next announcement is Funny Girl coming on 4K and Blu-ray. This is a brand new title to the Criterion Collection coming on November 19th. This is the Barbra Streisand title, directed by the one and only William Wyler. I am stoked on this release. I've never seen it. I am, curious to see what everybody else thinks. I know that this is a classic. Glad people are going to be able to get this. And I like the art on this. I do wish there was a little bit more than a new audio interview with Barbra Streisand and a new conversation. Again, where's the commentaries? We got to have some more. Completely agree with Craig here. HDR grading of old black and white films can be stunning. ZPAM been buying Kino's new blues because they're 4K scans and cheaper. That's a good call, especially when they're SDR. I get it. All right, next title. 4K, excuse me. The Shape of Water. This is coming on November 26th. This is the Guillermo del Toro film, and this has a couple new special features. And I'm glad it's coming out on the collection and all that stuff. But at the same time, this has had a 4K for 6 years already. This is one that didn't really... I don't know. Like, I get that there's a close, relationship with Guillermo, and they want to keep that close and all that. I don't know that this needed a release with a C on the cover. This could have just stayed as a studio release, unless they were going to do something really special. I don't know. Obviously, it's a great movie. It won the Oscar. I'm glad it's coming out, but there's not much of a reason to get this unless you're a Criterion completionist. And then Sivner says, this is just a crop and paste job on the cover art. Absolutely no, it's not. This is actually a drawing. This is an incredible piece of cover art, actually. It looks that good, and it is not a still from the film. This is all hand-drawn art. I agree that it's not super exciting because it's just a still from the film, but when you actually go down to the minute details, this one looks gorgeous, completely gorgeous. Yeah, this is not a still, Sibner. This is really great. And then the last title for the month is one that people have been waiting on for quite some time. November 26th, 4K and Blu-ray release of Paper Moon, the Peter Bogdanovich film, starring Ryan O'Neal and Tatum O'Neal, with also Madeline Kahn stealing the show for a lot of this. This is a big deal. This is the first Blu-ray or 4K release in the US of this film. It had a Eureka Masters of Cinema release that came out, I believe, 9 years ago, 2015. And I'm glad this is coming out. Not my favorite. I've not seen this in years. I'm probably really due for a rewatch. I've never loved Ryan O'Neal. I know that's not a hot take or anything. A lot of people hate him. But this is just a film that a lot of people love. At least this one has a commentary. It's very old with Peter Bogdanovich, but there's a new video essay on this. Not much else that's super exciting to me, at least. But the big thing is just adding this to the collection is a big deal. Sibner says, I still would have preferred something like what we got with Pinocchio. Agreed, but still, wow, yeah. When you actually pay attention to that, it looks pretty fantastic. And the risky Business was a painting of a still from the movie? Crazy. I never paid attention to Risky Business. Oops. All right. Then we got some Mondo Macabro announcements today. And here we go with these. These are going to be shipping in the middle of September-ish. And you can get these, all three of these titles that we're going to be talking about, you can pre-order them starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern on Thursday, the 29th. That's 2 Thursdays from now. So be prepared for that. And this first one is Tokugawa Sex Band from 1972. This movie sounds amazing. This is directed by Norifumi Suzuki, and it is a Toei film, and it is a period piece from back then. This is one of the more extraordinary films that came out of the 70s in Japan. This astonishing mixture of historical epic, sexploitation, grand guignol gore, and political intrigue is a real one-off. This one is Region A locked, unfortunately. New 2K restoration. We did an interview with the film critic on here and a commentary by Jasper Sharp. New booklet with Dimitri Yanni writing on Japanese pink film in this, and some art cards. This is going to be great. Cannot wait to get this and see us. This looks amazing. Chris says happy birthday, Laura.
Thank you.
Humboldt Horror Honey says yes, Mondo, thank God. Craig, fun news on Fella Day. Discovered today we found the negative has a few extra shots that were not on the DVD release. Wow. Interesting. That's fantastic. So yeah, that's the first title. Next one is The Killer Is Not Alone. This is from 1973. Excuse me. This one is a giallo-ish title, and this is the director's only film, actually. He mostly worked for TV and was a noted film critic, and this one is region-free, has a brand new 2K restoration from the negative. There's an interview with Angel Sala, the director of the Sitges Film Festival, commentary by friend of the channel, Troy Howarth, and Rodney Barnett on this as well. We got a booklet on this with Ismael Fernandez, and this one will also have reversible art, like I showed here. Excited about this one. Everybody always complains that we don't get enough giallo, and I'm glad this is coming out and people can stop complaining. Eager to see this. Love the art on this. Great bundle coming from them, I think. But the one that maybe takes the cake is the third and final title from them, The Hungry Snake Woman. This is from 1986, starring the legendary Susanna. Susanna was Indonesia's queen of horror, and this one is directed by the same director of Primitives and The Warrior, and this also stars Barry Prima. This is going to have a new 2K restoration, and the booklet will have a 16-page booklet total with new writing by Pete Toombs of Mondo Macabro himself. Not a ton of extra features on this, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of experts out there on Indonesian film. It is hard to find people. And if you want to hear more discussion on that, you can listen to this one. I'll go back to Criterion now in just a second. You can listen to the brand new official Mondo Macabro podcast just launched today. This is called Wild Side, hosted on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network. Chris and I are doing this one. The first episode launched today, and I think it's pretty great. I hope you check it out. It is one that is going to be visited by Jared quite often. Jared was on our first episode today, and Pete Toombs has already agreed to come on a future episode. You'll be able to hear that full interview. We're going to be doing some reviews on some of their old catalog titles, and this show is going to be great. Like I said, you can subscribe now. We'll have a new episode up in the middle of September. But let's go back to one thing before we go over to Criterion now. The big thing about these three Mondo titles, all three of these are home video debuts for the US. None of these have ever been released in the US on any format. It is so rare that we get titles like that anymore, except for from labels like Mondo Macabro, Deaf Crocodile. Imprint does it a lot when it's HD premieres, at least on Blu-ray. But to have no home video title at all is a big deal. So congrats to Mondo. Glad we're getting these. And now, the one that I've skipped over twice, Criterion Now. They are also joining the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network. Aaron is in the chat tonight. He is here under the name Cine Journeys. So thank you to Aaron. Aaron and Jill from Criterion Now made a video with me today. I am on episode 152 of the Criterion Now podcast to cover this. You can watch that on YouTube. It'll be up in their podcast feed. With Criterion Now also comes over the Criterion Close-Up podcast. There's a lot coming. Glad to have these people be a part of the network. I am honored. They've inspired a lot of people to start their own shows, to love film, and just do great things. Hey, since you haven't said anything in a while, how do you feel about all the podcasts and the podcast network growing like it has?
I never thought you'd be here, what you've made, but you've done it, and it's continuing, and I'm sure it'll just get better from here.
Except for when I lose my voice.
That never happens.
It feels like it might tonight. Yeah, thank you for that. I'm excited. The podcast network has exploded over the last 2 months. We finally did our first round of adding shows, and it's becoming unwieldy. We are officially closed on our second round. I have one more new one that is going to be starting that has never been announced, and then after that, there's one that we might be adding soon. And then the round is over, and we're not going to add anything for at least another 6 months, unless it's a brand new show that's starting by one of our current members already. Alex, a friend that I met in LA, has a question for you. Question for Laura: if you could start your own podcast, what would it be about?
I feel like I could go 2 different directions here. I feel like, I love Disney. I'm a Disney kid. I have seen almost everything. I know all the songs. So I feel like I could go a Disney direction.
I love how you say that right after you just said, I can't remember what I watched this year.
Disney's different.
I agree.
And then I feel like I could go some other serious direction in the form of religious trauma or something to that effect. So yeah, 2 opposite sides of the coin there.
After you showed the shirt off tonight, I was almost expecting you to answer that by saying doing a Nickelodeon show rewatch podcast where every episode's a new episode of Hey Dude, and then
he has the best ideas. That's why he is where he is. I would totally do that too.
Maybe we'll have to talk later.
You have too much going on already. Can't add
that's not for me. That's for you.
Oh, okay.
To start your own show.
Nope, can't do it by myself.
I'll get you some guests. It'll be great. I'm sure many in the chat would volunteer to come on to that. All right. So that was Criterion Now and the Mondo Macabro podcast. Again, if you have never listened to Criterion Now, please go subscribe to that. They do some great work. Episode 152 is particularly great because I'm a part of it. Let's see what is next. I think we got just a few more. Okay. October 21st, the BFI in the UK is releasing The Oblong Box, starring Vincent Price and Christopher Lee. Great movie. You've never seen this one, have you? Vincent Price, great at what he does, obviously. And we're going to talk about Vincent Price more in just a moment in the next announcement as well. But the big thing here, friend of the channel who's been on the show, Rock Chudson, John Daly, however you want to call him, just this week went and interviewed Victoria Price for this release. And I'm so stoked he's able to work on this BFI release. Proud of you, John. If you're listening to this, I can't wait to see how it turns out. I'm sure you did great. Will was there with him and said it went amazing. So proud of you, John. Keep going. We are happy for you. Next title, November 25th, the BFI is also releasing Cooking Price-Wise, which is coming as part of their Flipside collection. And it's part of the Flipside collection because this is a Vincent Price cooking show. And they were supposedly going to include this as a bonus on the Oblong Box, but they're going to put this out as its own special release. And it's going to be a handful of episodes. And like we were talking about last week with Discotech, these are just going to be SD episodes presented on Blu-ray because they're going to be in a little bit better, format, and you'll be able to handle them better on Blu-ray rather than DVD because it's more scratch resistant. Yes, that cover art on the Oblong Box is great. This one is going to have a whole bunch of stuff. More interview with Victoria Price on this. This is probably going to be a portion of the John Daly interview. But this looks fantastic. I absolutely must see this. I've never been able to see any of the episodes. Honestly, if I Googled it, these are probably up on YouTube, or some of them are probably up on YouTube. But this looks great. Lots of extra bonus features on this. There's going to be a booklet in this and everything with new writing by Victoria Price and others. This looks amazing. I absolutely want to get this one. And then from BFI, we've got Starve Acre. This is coming on October 21st on Blue. This is from 2024. Fairly new film. This is going to be presented in HD and SD. This is going to be including a new audio commentary, a bunch of new special features, interviews, and some behind-the-scenes extras. We've also got a booklet on this one as well with some new writing. I've seen some good reviews on this one. I've heard it's pretty great. Exactly. Who doesn't want to see Vincent Price cook? And finally, our last announcement for the week. October 7th, we are getting a 4K and Blu-ray release from Studio Canal as part of their Vintage Classics line of An Inspector Calls from 1954. This is starring Alistair Sim. New 4K restoration that's going to have Dolby Vision. Anna Smith is going to speak on this one. That's the new bonus feature. We've got an older ported over audio commentary from David Del Val. And this should be a pretty good looking release. Studio Canal's been doing pretty great work on their vintage classic stuff. And that is it for the announcements for this week. As usual, after that, we always share what is coming out next week, just in case you forgot and you wanted to make sure that you could get it on release day. We've got a Blu-ray of Death to Smoochie finally coming out. The When Titans Ruled the Earth release on 4K from Arrow. Can't Hardly Wait 4K coming from Sony. The Last Unicorn 4K. Evil Dead 4K Steelbook. That's the reboot from 2013. That's from Scream Factory. Some Lionsgate 4K Steelbooks coming. One of Hannibal Rising. That's the first Blu-ray of this in the US. Prime Cut 4K from Kino. Red Eye 4K Standard coming from Paramount. Bad Company from Fun City. Don't forget they're out there. They exist. Swedish Boarding School Girls coming from Full Moon. Peril and Distress and Soon the Darkness. Sudden Terror 4K coming from Kino. Wolf Creek coming on Blu-ray for the first time in the US as a Blu-ray Steelbook. Let 'Em Go 4K coming from the studio. China Syndrome from Sony. The Apartment, the 1996 Apartment, not the earlier one, coming on Blu-ray from Kino. Last Unicorn also gets a Steelbook that's from Walmart. We've got Halo Season 2 4K coming. Beetlejuice 4K Steelbook coming out to celebrate the release of Beetlejuice. Same with the Joker 4K Steelbook coming out. Tremors 7 movie collection on Blu-ray for the first time. Some other Steelbooks. We got some 4K of the Universal Monsters. You'll Never Find Me coming from RLJE. La Brea Season 3. Lots and lots of these smaller titles, including Creepypasta we talked about a few weeks ago. Any of these that speak out to you as something that you'd like to see or have seen and love?
I like the Evil Dead, and we've seen that in like play style. And that's pretty fun. Hannibal Rising.
That's the prequel.
Yeah, I would want to see that.
You have seen it.
I would want to see it again. Beetlejuice, of course. Super excited for the second one.
Just watched Beetlejuice.
Yes, with the kids.
Yep.
Or well,
kind of.
One kid. I like Joaquin Phoenix, so Joker's good. Love Tremors. Love Sinister.
That's probably it.
I think we did. You're Next, I think. And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
This is the one from 2013. You've never seen this one.
Okay. But I have like the other one.
Yes.
Ones?
You've seen 3 or 4 of the other ones.
Okay.
Good list. Dustin is trying to say something, and it came up empty. So that is it for announcements and what's coming out next week. And now it's time. You get to hopefully relieve me of some speaking duties. Question time. This is the first time the wife has been on the channel other than in a Patreon video or 3. So anything that you would like to ask of her, anything that you would like a story behind, anything that you would like to see what people are saying. Did I miss something?
Yeah. A few of these here.
Oh. Anthony says Nickelodeon Rewind podcast. When does this start? You got to do it now. Holy Mouse, that can be your title. If you include Pete and Pete, I'm in, says Ronnie.
Yeah, I love Pete and Pete.
Let's see. A lot of people happy with that. Yep. Sounds like you got a new podcast you got to start. All right. This is bound to have multiple funny stories. Does Ryan ever sleep?
It's like yes and no. Like he falls asleep on the couch. He'll fall asleep in a chair.
Whilst working.
Yeah. Like I'm surprised his laptop hasn't dropped on the floor with how much he falls asleep with it sitting on his lap. Same thing with his phone. Like, I don't know how he doesn't have tons of bruises on his face. So he sleeps a lot while he's working. And then when he wakes himself up, he's awake to work.
Typing immediately. Oh man, that's hilarious. What does Ryan say about us when the cameras turn off?
He loves everybody. And that's not silly either. Like, this is something that he talked about doing for a while. There was a little business that him and I tried to start that was back in like 2018, 19.
Earlier than that even.
That we thought was a good idea, and it just didn't take off very well, so that stopped. And he's always loved movies, and he really enjoys the community that he's created. He loves meeting everybody. He is fast to be like, so I have a friend coming into town, and I said that they could stay with us. Is that okay? Which is totally fine. I don't mind anybody coming to visit if that's what you guys want to do, and we'll show you around Kansas City. Yeah, he really enjoys everything that's been created. And of course, that wouldn't be the case without all of you here. So thank you for being here.
It's true. Alex wants to know, what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Rocky Road.
Alex says, I will fall asleep during Goodbye Dragon Inn. I will, and Alex will tap my knee to wake me up. Thank you, Alex. Let's see. Do I give Ryan the warm and fuzzies? I don't think she knows by name, but yes, absolutely, Sumner. He loves even us Aussies. Of course, we must drive him mad with the time zone difference. I've had worse. Remember when, speaking of the devil, we had to talk about him dying earlier this year, but remember when I interviewed Lee? I had to wake up it was like 4:00 in the morning.
Yes. And he likes to brag sometimes. Well, I have friends in this country that invite me to stay, and
that's Tony.
Yeah.
This is Tony. Tony invited me to come stay in Australia.
Yeah. So he's pretty proud of it being everywhere.
Silent, I think you missed this. Silent says, what are some of your favorite movies from this year? We went over that earlier. Said she liked Immaculate. And you really don't remember Late Night with the Devil, because you really liked that one. That was the late night talk show one, where the guy.
Oh yeah. Okay. If as soon as he starts talking about it, I'm like, yeah, I do. I could do it. I remember.
Ronnie's got a good question. What's a memorable first watch experience that you've had with me?
So I think this was talked about probably with one of the other interview things that I did. But when we were kids and we first started dating, we started dating around Valentine's Day. And the first movie that we watched together was and I don't know why you picked it.
I don't remember either.
It was Major Payne. Very odd Happy Valentine's Day to my girlfriend of 4 days movie to watch.
Yeah. Which, by the way, it is 2024, so that was 22 years ago. 22 and a half years ago now.
I remember that, which is surprising. Not surprising.
We went to the park after that with my family.
I don't remember that. Major Payne.
I will share another funny one that's a memorable first-time watch for us. There is an area in Kansas City called the Plaza, and they used to have a movie theater that was open down there, and it was fairly cheap. And before we had kids, we went down there to watch the film About Time. And it was a Wednesday at like 11 a.m. and we go into this theater and it's empty. It's the two of us, except for one person who's in the front row who is homeless. You can tell by looking at him, and very, very obnoxiously drunk. Throughout the movie, this guy was literally throwing beer cans at the screen and yelling obscenities, and it was funny as shit. Kind of ruined the movie, but we've watched it since then. It's a good movie. Like the movie quite a bit. But I will never forget that first watch experience of About Time. Yeah, that was a wild one.
It's one of those things where you're like annoyed that somebody's ruining it for you, but then you can't look away and you want to like continue seeing what's going to happen. That's kind of how that was.
Craig says we were honored to host Ryan for a few nights. He does seem to work 24/7. It's crazy. Thanks for sticking up for that, Craig. Chris says you're a better guest than Will and Jeremy. Just saying.
I think so too.
What is this is from Jeff? What is your favorite genre besides horror?
Is Disney a genre?
No, that's a studio. Well, and even then, I would say your real answer is probably crime thriller.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. See, he knows me better than I know me. I knew that Disney was a studio. That was a joke.
I know. Simner wants to know, have I ever not been able to find a movie in his collection? And you like to laugh and brag about this, so go ahead and share.
Like, I look around the room, and I don't know if he's showing you guys the whole room, but
not like this. It's a mess.
Yeah, you only see this, behind us. But he knows where everything is. And there's piles and piles everywhere. Even in the piles, he can pick out whatever it is. It's organized by director and studio. He just knows where everything is. And so, no, there's never been a time where he's been like, I can't find that. And if it's not out here, it's in this closet.
The closet of shame.
Which is also stacked very high. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, like a file cabinet of memory of where everything is.
Anthony says, we know a lot about Ryan. What are some of your interests that are not movies?
I feel like this is really cliche for some reason. I like dogs.
She likes animals.
Yeah. For my job, I am a dog walker, and I do drop-ins for people while they're at work, or they go away for events or holidays or whatever. And a while after one of our pets died in 2019, we opened our home to boarding animals. So there was a lot of different dog breeds that I got to deal with. I've been with a few families now for a few years. So that's stuff that I do in my free time. When I can, I like to do puzzles. So a couple times throughout the year, me, my sister, and my mom, and a fourth person go to like puzzle contests, making contests. We lose
every
so
time.
bad, but it's still really fun. I like video games when I can. Naps are nice.
All right.
Yes, major pain.
Next question. Terry says, any movie that you and Ryan disagree on significantly? Is there anything that one of us loves that the other one hates? I mean, there's been many, but none that stick out a lot.
There's movies that he'll refuse to watch with me. Like, I've been trying to get him to watch.
That's not entirely true.
I've been trying to get him to watch Twilight for years, and he won't do it. And it makes me kind of sad.
Okay. So let's put this to rest. This is hilarious for multiple reasons. One, my wife is going to a Twilight-themed bar tomorrow night with her sister. My wife also doesn't know that about a month and a half ago, for her birthday, I booked tickets for me, her, and her best friend to go watch Twilight together in a theater next Wednesday. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is one of your presents.
Perfect.
See, I would never refuse to watch a movie. Come on.
But it takes years. Like, I've been trying to get you to watch. But there's 4 of them.
No, there's 5 of them.
5 of them.
I know that, and you don't?
Shh.
Okay, here's the funniest part. Why don't you tell everybody what I've done for you with Post-its around our house?
I don't know. I haven't gotten one in a while.
Why don't you tell everybody what I've done for you with Post-its around our house?
He leaves encouraging notes, lovey stuff. He'll hide stuff like in clothes or behind things. I think there's some that it took years to find. But we've done that for each other since 2011, where we would just hide Post-it notes around the house. He actually got a little mailbox for us that we were supposed to use. That
one's been put to the side a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, just a lot of uplifting, encouraging type stuff.
So here's the second reveal. Many years ago, I don't know when it was, but I hid a Post-it note in the Twilight DVD that she brought into my home that says, "I love you so much, I will even watch Twilight with you." And to this day, she has never opened the movie since I did that, which is one of the reasons I've never watched it with her. If she had discovered it, I would have watched it immediately that night. And I think that deserves an apology.
If you're gonna say no when I suggest it, I'm not gonna go grab it.
But you obviously don't care about it that much to check over the years anyways.
If he says no, I'm not gonna grab it.
Anyways, that was a fun double reveal. Ronnie wants to know, what are some of your favorite movies from your childhood?
Going back to the Disney.
I like the accent all of a sudden. Going on back to the Disney.
Yeah, Aladdin, Alice in Wonderland, Lion King. To go off, well, no, Pete's Dragon is Disney, yes. Right? Pete's Dragon was a really big one for me. American Tail.
Don Bluth.
Yeah. All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Don Bluth.
Mm-hmm. I just had The Brave Little Toaster.
The Troll in Central Park.
The Troll in Central Park. The Black Cauldron.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Those are good ones. A lot of people are trying to test, like, can Ryan go find all of his movies? So I'm not going to get up and go find all of the movies. We might do that in a future video. I've done that over on Bob's Blu-rays channel if you ever want to watch. But I'm gonna put this to bed. Anthony says go find The Stepfather. It is on the bottom shelf on this black one on the left. I'm not going to go grab it.
I can grab it and see if it's correct.
Oh, it's in alphabetical order there. It's near the bottom.
It's in alphabetical order.
Yeah. Sibner says, find me Gold Member. That's in the Closet of Shame on the left. I believe the second pile from the side. Yep. Yep.
This is not alphabetical.
It might have been one of the ones I sold because it's getting a 4K upgrade. I got to be honest. Somebody says, find the Scissor Penis movie. It is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is in the 5th stack right there in the window. All right, next. Jimbo wants to know, how many discs do you two actually have time to watch every week? Depending on the week, what do you think is the average for movies that we watch on disc?
2.
2 to 3? Well, hold on. 2 to 3 that I'm not working on. She is sworn to secrecy, can't reveal some of the stuff I'm working on that we watch together. But those are usually not disc because obviously they're not on disc yet, unless I have the old copy, which isn't always the case.
It's always at least one because we have Movie Monday.
Yep.
And those are usually movies that you're not working on. But again, it's stuff that he picks. No input from his mom or I.
Never, because it's a surprise, because I curate it. Jeff says that the Post-its have glitter on them. I don't think any of them have ever had glitter. I love a lot of these. If you love her, you'll watch Twilight, Full Moon. I'll watch all 5 of them. I don't care. The Black Cauldron is underrated. Ryan grabbed Joanna Man. Kev, I don't think I have a copy of Joanna Man. Amazing. What film do you really want to show the boys? That's a great question.
It's hard because, like, Jonah will mostly sit and watch anything. Like last night we showed him Batman and he sat through the whole thing. Spencer is hard to shop for. It has to, like, I feel like it has to be animated in some fashion. But even then, it's just really hard to keep his attention for some reason.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of hard to say, because finding a movie that both boys would sit and watch that isn't in our car that they have to watch.
That they've watched 58 times.
So I'm not sure if I can answer that one, because they're just so different in, I mean, I would sit and watch Disney movies with them all day.
But even that, like, they don't like a lot of the old school animation style.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about this generation. Obviously, we're parents of 2 autistic kids, and one of them has severe ADHD. I don't know. There's something interesting about it that is clearly different chemistry wise in their brain. I will say I am working on something right now for an upcoming release from TerraVision that is about me sharing films with the boys, actually, and it's made me think about things in a couple other ways, and I'm personally excited to like show them actual, I don't know, like, gateway horror is kind of an odd way to say it, because they've seen some of those. Like, they've watched Beetlejuice, or at least one of them has watched Beetlejuice. We've shown them like some animated horror-ish things. They watched all of the Don Bluth stuff with us last year when we did that full rewatch, and it's been good. But we've done things like I say, let's show them Monster Squad, and then 30 seconds after it starts, and there's F slurs everywhere, and I'm like, I didn't remember that. And I don't know. There's certain things that, like, the parental guides that you find online, they don't do well to show you what I'm trying to coin for myself, at least, is like a bridge movie. Not quite like an adolescent horror, but not just a silly child gateway horror. It's like a bridge from the gateway to the big stuff. And it's fun. I'm excited for more of those. And some of the stuff that the boutiques are putting out, I think, can fill that hole. And there's a couple of those that I'm working on too right at the moment. Will just texted me about one of them.
And I don't know about you, but my family wasn't like a going to the movies kind of family, and we all have really different tastes in what we like in movies. So I think something that's different about us and the way that we raise our kids is that we find it important to sit and show and watch movies with them. Whether one ends up going downstairs or not, we can't always gauge. But
well, that's the other thing, like, not to interrupt you, but we do give them the freedom. If we're watching something as a family, we're not like yelling at them to sit down. Like, yeah, if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. Go do your own thing. And my parents would not have done that if they were, adamant about something. I wouldn't have been allowed to leave the room. Sibner suggested Gremlins. They've already seen it. It looks good. Oh, Alex, that's a good question. What horror character do you think Ryan could beat in a fight? Not many. I've got a bad foot.
This is true. He would be the first to die. Like, the women would survive. The person in the wheelchair would survive. Like, Ryan would die first.
If you're not afraid of medical gore, let me know. I can send you a couple pictures.
Who would you win in a fight against?
Any supernatural horror, because God isn't real. Oh, Leprechaun. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You just kick him.
Yeah.
Just fucking Warwick Davis.
Something small.
Kev says, y'all seem like great parents. What do the kids think of the movie room? Do you have any memories of the kids coming in here? I can share some things.
Mm-mm.
If you are not a part of the Patreon, both of the kids have been in many of my pickup videos, and I've used them over time for comedy. I will show them, like, a new video comes in, and I'll be like, this is the title and the art. What do you think this movie's about? And it's always hilarious. Spencer, one time, there was a title called something Hell, and I said, what is hell? And he started to explain it, or he asked, what is hell? And it went into this long, really, really long explanation, but it's funny. The kids seem fascinated with a lot of it.
I think Jonah is more, my dad has a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He likes that his dad is on YouTube. and has all these followers. He doesn't think Ryan has enough followers.
He makes fun of how few I have.
So tell your friends, because our son is not satisfied with the amount of followers that he has.
Craig says I would befriend the villains and survive that way.
I mean, that's probably true. He would talk them out of their villainous.
Yeah. Reggie says, can I take on Linda Blair? I mean, yeah, I could eat pea soup.
No, because you're one of those, if somebody vomits, I'm going to vomit too.
Sometimes, that's for sure. Especially if it's child vomit.
Yeah. Projectile vomit all over your face and stuff, you would not survive.
Anybody that's parents, you'll probably remember there's been a couple nights where there's been some god-awful smell from what your kids are going through. We've had 2 or 3 nights that it's been so bad you can't even walk into a room without like protection over your face or you lose it. And it's come pretty close for both of us a few times.
He's worse than me.
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely true. I could beat the puppets from Puppet Masters. Let's see. She'd stab him in the crotch with the crucifix. Game over. Yeah, I mean, probably. Danny says, been in that scenario. It's so bad. It's rank. I mean, I swear, Jonah that one time had like...
We don't need to like get
toxic
specific.
Liver or something. It was so bad. All right. I'll do last call for questions, and then we're going to do our topic for the night after the AMA part. Let's see. Anything that you want to comment on about the channel or the show or the magazine or anything?
Anybody that I've talked to about the magazine thinks it's super creative. It doesn't seem to be something that other people do or have done. So I think it's something unique that you've created. And
I was not fishing for compliments, by the way.
I like that you incorporate so many people into getting each issue done. Whether it's 60 pages or 37 pages, I appreciate all of you supporting him in all of this, whether it's contributing in the comments, Patreon, an article, letting him sleep at your house, feeding him, whatever. It's great.
Will just texted me and said, I'm Laura's favorite, obviously. How do you feel about Will? That was a weird reaction.
It was a interesting first meeting, Will. He like immediately took his shirt off. If that's the way you like want to introduce yourself, that's fine.
Oh man.
Yeah.
KV's here. You're still going? Happy birthday, lady. Let's celebrate.
As long as you don't get COVID again.
All right. I've already revealed 2 secrets. Sivner says each of you reveal a secret that the other didn't know. Anything you want to reveal to me?
Like, there's nothing that we don't talk about.
It's true. And not to mention, we've been at least friends for 22 years and 9 months.
I don't have to get that specific.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't think no secrets.
Other than the Twilight secrets, which are just surprises. Will just texted and said, did I do that? I have no memory.
I guess it wasn't a complete shirt takeoff. It was just a lifting up of the shirt. Same difference.
All right. Questions have died out. Are you ready to cover our topic? Are your answers in your phone and your phone's about to die? This is going to go very well. So our topic, we decided to pick 5 of our favorite actors and actresses and talk about a film that they were in. Do you want to do all yours first in case your phone dies?
Do you want me to? I can like send it to you.
Yeah, go ahead. Although it was going to be a reveal, but that's okay. We can do it
Well,
on
you don't
that.
have to look at it.
Yeah, we can do it through text on the computer.
Okay.
Kev wants to know, were you ever early on like, who did I get involved with? This guy buys a lot of movies.
Early on? I mean, the collection was certainly not like this when we...
Not this bad.
No, it's not bad. When we got back together in 2011, like he had, I think it was like 2 shelves full that we kept in our living room. Those black ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, even those might have been sold when we moved. I don't know.
We sold all but about 50 titles when we moved to Missouri.
Yeah. So yeah, it's grown a lot since
just slightly
over the last 13 years.
Yeah, nothing crazy. And she benefited from the movies. I mean, one thing that we didn't mention through all of this somehow, Laura grew up in a very conservative house, and not meant politically, which it was as well, but meant as in like they didn't watch a lot of stuff. So she was not, I don't know, subjected to like a lot of the classics, and not just film, but even like TV. So there was a lot of references that she never got. So I took it upon myself to try to show her a lot of those. So things like, I think even like Jaws, I think you didn't watch till you were with me.
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic Park, the first time was with me. A lot of the things that are wild that she never knew anything about, never understood. People would say quotes from films and she never understood those until she saw it. It was crazy. Yeah. That's a good question. Reggie wants to know, do either of you miss California since we both grew up there? Do you ever miss California?
I don't miss necessarily where we're from. I miss Del Taco. That's about it. Like I don't have friends in Barstow anymore. I have some that are like in the beachier kind of area. And I would totally visit them if I had the ability to. We road trip through California on our honeymoon, so there are like parts of California that I wouldn't mind visiting again, or maybe even living in at some point. It's very it's very expensive though there, obviously. I think it's more nostalgia stuff for me. I miss what it was when I was a kid. I miss what I thought was good when I was there. But now that I'm older and I certainly realize everything wasn't as great as I thought it was, I don't think I'd go back to it.
She frequently says she misses high school and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, why? That was the worst. I don't get that part at all.
It was good for me.
Whatever you say. All right. That is all of them. We're going to go to 5 of our favorite actors and actresses and some of the stuff that we appreciate from them. And you can go first with your first actor. And go ahead.
This is no particular order, and nobody better come for me. He told me this 2 days ago, and it was...
I gave you multiple options before that.
Mm-mm. He was like, do I have to come up with another one? Can you do this? So we just did it. So don't get mad at me. Okay. So the first one that I have is James McAvoy. I really... Of course, okay, so it started with like Narnia, and I think for the longest time I didn't know that he was Mr. Tumnus. But there's, you know how you're like, no, I'm not going to go there. So it started with Narnia, and then when he did Split and Glass. I could watch those movies all the time. I don't think his representation of DID is not accurate. However, I don't think that it is.
It's not 100%, but it's like the closest one ever done on screen, I would say.
I mean, that could be accurate. Anyway, somebody that could do 10,
15 technically
different characters in an entire movie, all with a different voice, all with their own personality. I really liked, and I like the story behind Split. Not just him being that character, but the story behind it, and the light and just everything about it. I just really liked from him, and I'm wanting to see the movie that's coming out that you
Trapped that just released.
No, the one that we see.
Oh, the James McAvoy. Speak No Evil.
Yeah, but he's not interested in it, so I don't know that I'll end up watching.
Like I said, we'll watch it, but it'll be not in the theater.
He's also like nice to look at, so that's not a bad thing.
I don't understand how in that trailer his shirt is off like 60% of it for no reason.
No, there's a reason. There's a reason.
All right. The first one that I put on my list was Joseph Gordon-Levitt, an actor that I've appreciated for a long time. We've talked about one of his great films tonight, which is Brick. Obviously, I think the first thing I saw him in was Angels in the Outfield. He's done a lot of incredible films throughout the years. He's done a lot that are not great, and then he takes long breaks. He's one of the ones that I appreciate because he just kind of does whatever the fuck he wants. Like, if it's not something he respects, he's not going to do the part. Really loved him in Hesher. Loved him in until the ending. His part in Nolan's Batman stuff was interesting-ish. But yeah, JGL is great at what he does. Craig is throwing in that JGL is hot. Sibner wants to know if McAvoy is your hall pass.
Just one of them. But we haven't talked about hall passes.
No, they don't exist. Yeah, JGL is fantastic.
Was it Don? No, the cancer one.
Ooh, 50-50.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
That was a good one too.
He
is a good one.
Do you want to dignify that with a response? Who looks better without a shirt, Will or James McAvoy?
So I don't have a type. There's like the big beast of James McAvoy and all the muscles. It's like really nice to look at. But then there's something about a dad bod that's.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll never be like
that. And I don't want you to be. But like Will is texting Ryan off to the side, and it's weird. We're talking about him off to the side, and then
as Will's also watching at home.
Yeah, it's really funny.
All right, you ready for your second pick?
Yeah.
Your second pick is
okay. I feel like a couple of these are also like
obvious.
Yeah.
Cliche.
Yeah, I just don't. Again, I don't want anybody to come for me. Tom Hanks. He's been in the game for so long. Can you go back to my note? So I think, let's see. So I think the thing.
I see what you wrote at the end of that.
I think my earliest memory of Tom Hanks is A League of Their Own. That's another movie that I've seen over and over and over and over again. So I think that's what kind of started me on with him. And then like Green Mile and Castaway shortly came after that. And then, of course, being the voice of Woody in all of the beloved Toy Story movies. And then in our days where we were able to watch SNL all the time, his character of David S. Pumpkins was something that I really enjoy. as far as character goes. But I like that he can. I like that he's a real good drama actor,
which is hilarious because he got famous for comedy, right? That's what got him famous.
Yeah, that's what Big was.
Big was the tail end of that, though. He did quite a few things before that.
So my second is Tom Hanks. There we go.
It's a good pick. Alex. Oh man, I wish I could share that right now. My second pick on my list was Robert Pattinson, which kind of feels like a Laura pick, but I think I appreciate his acting more than her. I am a big fan of all of his choices over the last decade. Primarily, really want to go into obviously The Lighthouse, but also I think my favorite from him is Good Time. Do you remember watching Good Time? Probably not. So Good Time is, I think, so far my favorite of his films altogether. The Lighthouse is great, but Good Time really shows what he can do. Everything about Good Time is peak Safdie brothers. I mean, everything that they did before they were able to make Uncut Gems. Good Time really embraced all of that. He's great at what he does. It's a great movie. Incredible acting. Always fantastic. We also have this question. Tony had asked, Laura, have you ever experienced the trashy world of John Waters? If not, I'm not doing my job. Go ahead.
The Creep was a big
Saturday
thing.
Night Live.
Was a big thing for us for a really long time. We talked about making Halloween costumes out of it for a while. I don't.
She just discovered that Hairspray was directed by John Waters.
Yeah, nope, didn't know. And
Crybaby. Here is the funniest thing, and I don't even know if she remembers this. Laura fell asleep watching Pink Flamingos one time. And anybody that has seen Pink Flamingos is probably going to go, how do you fall asleep watching Pink Flamingos? I think you have fallen asleep during
everything.
Well, yes, but at least one or two others by him. I don't think his style meshes with you very well because it doesn't have a sheen on it to feel engrossing for you. But yeah, love John Waters. Absolutely great. Your next one.
Oh, I was going to say something with Robert Pattinson. I was worried when they cast him as Batman because, and I think I let the Twilight stuff like cloud my judgment because
most people did,
because sparkly vampire, and now he's going into this superhero role and coming in after Christian Bale, and I was worried that he wasn't going to do well, but I do think that he did well in the role.
I think he might be my favorite Batman. Not my favorite Bruce Wayne. My favorite Batman, though. I love that they brought the detective side of things in and that they showed him screwing up, like hitting the bridge and slipping and stuff like that. Like he was getting used to it. Yeah, definitely. Anthony, no, she has not seen the end of Pink Flamingos. Do you know what happens at the end of Pink Flamingos?
I don't even know what it is. Sorry.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Terry was thinking Big might have been the first movie that he watched with Tom Hanks, but I think The Money Pit was first. Nice. Craig enjoyed Crybaby. It's a good movie.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Rachel's here. If we're talking in The Lighthouse, Willem Dafoe would be one of my favorites. We were talking about him yesterday. He's a great one. Let's see. Falling asleep on early John Waters is one thing, but I'd be more nervous about what I would wake up to. Exactly. He was great as Batman. I hope his Bruce Wayne is great in the next film. We really haven't seen his Bruce Wayne. Yeah, he was barely in it as Bruce Wayne for sure. All right, go ahead with your next one.
Okay. So speaking of Crybaby, my next one is Johnny Depp. He's been in so many good things, and there's certain.
And he was in Tusk.
Yeah, but I didn't like Tusk.
That's why I said he's been in so many good things and Tusk.
I think I need to give Tusk another chance.
I love Tusk. I hate him in Tusk.
But I think that I saw. I'm trying to think if I saw. I think I saw Crybaby first.
Wild.
Yeah, I don't remember where I saw it, but I think that was my first Johnny Depp exposure. Another movie that I would totally watch over and over again. I really like it. I think Edward Scissorhands was next after that. But I think he just plays a lot of characters really well. He can do something serious, but he can do something crazy, like the Mad Hatter in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I just think he's great, and he did that really hot Dior commercial. That works for me.
Sivner says double feature Tusk and Human Centipede.
You know, I haven't seen Human Centipede.
Yes, you have.
I have seen it somewhere. I've seen it somewhere.
Oh man, I love that we get to do this live, and so everybody can understand what it's like.
And they're going to be like, Ryan, your wife needs some help.
Oh man, his Ed duo, Edward Scissorhands and Ed Wood, are fantastic.
And I think when you pair him with certain actresses, like I love when he's paired with Winona Ryder. I love when he's paired with Helena Bonham Carter. I think there's just certain pairings that work well.
Good question, Ronnie. How do you forget seeing the Human Centipede?
You know, I know what it's about, and so I can like think how it went, but maybe another one I fell asleep to.
That's a movie that leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Oh.
All right. My number 3 is one that's a little older than most of the other ones listed so far. Jack Nicholson. This is one of my early favorites. I think Batman was the first thing I saw him in, and then funny enough, I think after that it was As Good as It Gets, which is a hilarious movie for a young kid to watch. Then discovering a lot of his stuff, The Shining, and looking at things like The Border and all of like the 70s comedies that he did. 70s comedies. We don't need to talk about the Red Scare. I mean, he fought against McCarthyism. Anyways, stuff like Chinatown, discovering that older, was wild. I feel like he is magnetic in everything that he does, and funny enough, like I have such old memories of Jack Nicholson because I grew up in California. I loved the Lakers, and Jack Nicholson was always featured as sitting in front row seats at the Lakers games ever since I can remember. I worshipped Kobe Bryant. I worshipped Shaq. I was a fan before they got any of those big names. I remember being, 10 years old and pretending to be Vlade Divac playing on the Lakers, and just watching every single game and seeing it shine on Jack Nicholson and going, that's him. That's the Joker. Loves the Lakers just like me. Like, it was one of those early things that it was like, we got something in common. I love it. Nicholson was always important for me, for sure.
He's a good one.
All right. Your next one.
I feel like this is another duh one. I'm so sorry. Leonardo DiCaprio. It's hard for me to explain. I remember watching him in Romeo and Juliet when I was in high school. I don't know why I really like that movie for some reason. And then, Titanic and his pairing with Kate Winslet, it was really, you're laughing at me and I don't like it.
No, it's fine. Go right ahead. I love Titanic. It's a masterpiece, genuinely.
I don't know. I think that he worked with Kate Winslet well, and it was really good story. I feel like I'm losing my place. Sorry. Catch Me If You Can was great. Shutter Island, great. Inception, Wolf of Wall Street, kind of, for me, kind of similar to Johnny Depp, where I feel like he can do a lot of different roles. I just like watching everything that he's in.
I know. Similar says, I remember watching Romeo and Juliet in the theater. When he first appeared, the girls behind me swooned audibly. Couch wants to know favorite Nicholson role. Probably either The Last Detail or Easy Rider or The Shining. I don't know. The Shining's a little obvious there, but yeah, Last Detail is probably up there for me. Let's see. My next one is Denzel. Like, I know this is a pretty obvious one. Denzel Washington is amazing in everything he touches. I've loved so many of his movies. I don't remember what the first Denzel I watched was. It was probably a Tony Scott movie. I know that much. He's been great in Man on Fire. Loved him in Malcolm X. He is amazing in most things. Favorite role from him probably is Malcolm X or Training Day. Ooh, I don't know. Have you seen Training Day? Do you know what that is by name? King Kong got nothing on me? No? All right. I'm going to have to show my wife Training Day. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. No, we're going to have to watch Training Day soon. It's amazing. Very, very happy with that movie. And yeah, love Denzel. I think he's a modern, like, one of the best that we have. And he looks very interesting in Gladiator. I will say that. The upcoming sequel. Any Denzel thoughts?
Remember the Titans.
He's great in that. Yeah.
That was a good one for me.
Yep.
Don't pull up the note because I feel like you're cheating.
I haven't looked at anything.
I'll keep my phone on as long as it'll stay on.
Devil in a Blue Dress is great, Jeff. Glory's very good too. 8 years old, saw Glory in the theater. Jesus Christ. Oh man. Go ahead.
My next one?
Your next one.
Okay.
Is this number 5?
This
last
one.
actor.
To go with the horror theme and something that was mentioned in the beginning, Tobin Bell. I think, I don't know. I think Saw was like is that the word? Transformative? Transformative.
For you?
Yeah. Just like there was no other horror movie done like it before. And spoiler, if you haven't seen it, the way the ending was when, you assume the whole movie that he's this dead guy on the floor and then he just stands up and
spoilers.
That's what I said. He just stands up and you see that he's alive and you're like,
it changes everything.
Yes. And
it was a great reveal.
The Chris Rock does not count. The Chris Rock Saw does not count. But every other Saw, I mean, even the ones where he was dead
has been dead for years.
Right. Like I love Saw 10. I think I was eagerly anticipating it after how much Saw 9
Spiral.
Yeah, bombed. And I was just looking forward to it. I think he plays Jigsaw well. I think the idea of Jigsaw is very different. We saw him at was it a horror con? And got a picture with him and he held my arm and I loved it.
We met Shawnee Smith too, also from Saw.
Yes. But I just think he's done really great with Saw. And I feel like, and I don't know, just because I haven't seen him in really anything else, I don't know if that's like the thing that people know him from.
Well, now it is, yeah. Before that, he was mostly a character actor, like somebody that would be in behind the scenes on a lot of stuff.
So yeah, I think with him just being known for Saw, people might think like, oh, he only does one thing. But I think he does that one thing well. And he just had a birthday.
For the record, and to reveal something early, Laura is going to be doing an episode of Film Foundations where we do the whole franchise of Saw. We're going to be doing a rewatch of all of them together again, taking notes on everything, and then being able to discuss that in great detail with Chris, and cannot wait. See you later, Brian.
Let's catch up on comments a little bit.
We're mostly up to date, talking about how Growing Pains was Sibner's first DiCaprio. You need to see Devil in a Blue Dress. Deja Vu is great. First Tobin Bell was the opening scene of In the Line of Fire. Tobin Bell's had more posthumous kills than Tupac's had albums, which is absolutely true. He had a small part in Mississippi Burning. Season 2 of 24, he was a part of it. He wants to see Tobin Bell fight Lance Hendrickson. That would be great, although his last name is Lance Henriksen and not Hendrickson.
What did we just see him in that I audibly gasped that he...
Tobin Bell?
Mm-hmm. He was in an episode and...
Oh, it was The Wire. Or not The Wire, sorry, Sopranos. He was in, I think, one of the episodes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could have been it. We don't watch anything else.
At the moment, that's true. My number 5, speaking of character actors, is probably my favorite character actor of all time. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. indeed. He is absolutely one that it would take a 3.5 star film up to 4.5. Yeah, it's only you that I'll be a bully to, Sibner. Everything Philip Seymour Hoffman did was elevated by his presence, and not everybody you can say that about, obviously. So some favorites from him. I believe the first one I ever saw was Almost Famous. And Almost Famous was a formidable title for me, for sure. Absolutely adore that movie. He's fantastic in it. But everything else that he's been able to do, I mean, ranging from Magnolia and Capote and Schenectady, New York, or however you say it. I'm not from New York. Sorry, Sibner. Everything that Seymour Hoffman was, even in one scene, it's already a better film just because he's in it. I got blown away. Things like Punch Drunk Love. He's not like this massive character. That's mostly Adam Sandler and a couple others. But I don't know. Something about his presence, like even the Hunger Games movies, which aren't that good, when he was in them, it was like, oh man, like this scene actually feels like there's some power behind it. I adored him. Any thoughts? Any memories of him?
I think the only thing that I could recall him in, and I'm sure there are others that I've seen, but just the Hunger Games, I think.
Talented Mr. Ripley, that's a good call. Scent of a Woman, I got to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen Scent of a Woman. Technically, in the real world, it's Schenectady. To key? Not to... Never mind. I was going to start saying syllables, and this was going to go on for 30 minutes. Thanks. That doesn't make sense. But I appreciate that. Yeah, love Seymour Hoffman. On to actresses?
Sure.
First one?
Do you want to go first since I went first?
Sure, my first one. To go with the Twilight theme tonight. I did this on purpose. Kristen Stewart is amazing. Like everything that she has touched, and again, just like Pattinson, her choices are mind-blowingly great. Her stuff with Olivier Assayas has been great. Personal Shopper. We loved Underwater from day one. Saw that in the theater. That was January of the year of the pandemic, so 2020. And then I think 2 weeks later, we went and saw The Invisible Man, and then the pandemic happened. And those were the last two that we saw in the theater. But yeah, we absolutely adored Underwater. It is such a fun movie. Starts immediately with all of the action. She is fantastic in everything. I don't even know how better to say it. She's always stupendous. She stands up for great things. Even as a child, she was great in Panic Room. Everything that she has been able to appear in that has allowed her to actually act has been amazing. Unsung favorite, probably Adventureland. I think that she's amazing in that movie, opposite of Ryan Reynolds. Yes, Alex, Spencer's very good. She's incredible in Spencer. I don't love the movie, unfortunately, but yes, she was good in Spencer. Yeah, if you've not seen Adventureland, really great underseen comedy from 2015, 2016, something like that. Amazing movie. Any Kristen Stewart thoughts?
I think my first exposure to her was Twilight.
Ooh, Love Lies Bleeding. Yeah, she was great in that this year.
And she gets made fun of a lot for her mannerisms in that movie. But I think she's definitely, like Pattinson, has come a long way from
she's grown a lot
from the Twilight days. Okay, my first one. Now, this one, she has a short resume, but I think she's going to end up doing great things. Jenna Ortega. I like what she did in Scream. I've loved Wednesday so far. I think she's going to end up becoming part of the Scream Queen category. She's definitely still young, has a lot of growing to do. But I think that she definitely has a lot of potential and can do great things in the future. So I'm interested to see how her resume will grow. Looking forward to the next season of Wednesday. Yeah.
Design, yeah. I mean, I definitely want to see more.
That's why I said she has a short resume.
Yeah. Wednesday was fun. It was a good show. All right. My second one is the one that I have always said for the last like 5 or 6 years is my favorite actress whenever this comes up. And I think she might be other than Meryl Streep, and obviously you have to say that because Meryl Streep has won all of the Oscars ever. I get that. I think she is the best actress that we have. Toni Collette. Something about Toni Collette is just wild what she's been able to accomplish. It's a Shyamalan night, and speaking of that, I did not post a post on Instagram, so I didn't share earlier. We've talked about Trap and Split and Glass and
a Shyamalan night. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry,
I
thought you were saying it.
Not M. Night Shyamalan. No, it is a Shyamalan night tonight.
Got it.
She was amazing in The Sixth Sense, but I'll get back to The Sixth Sense in just a second. I did a very, very, very long video this week on the YouTube channel. I interviewed Crit Pick Productions. He's another YouTuber. We talk for 45 minutes to an hour about him and physical media and film criticism and stuff like that. And then we talk about Shyamalan and rank all of his films for almost 2 hours. So it's a long video, but incredibly worth it. We both adore Shyamalan, so it's an interesting conversation. So yes, back to it. Yeah,
Hereditary, right?
Hereditary, obviously, but The Sixth Sense. She is what made that movie for me. Her mannerisms, like the way that she responds to things in the car with Haley Joel Osment, defined acting for me from a very young age. Love this movie. Sorry, still coughing. Incredibly early. Was a big fan of it. Muriel's Wedding, fantastic. Have to throw out there one of my favorite comedies ever, Little Miss Sunshine. She is amazing in that. And then, of course, the Hereditary of it all. Like, if the Academy ever respected horror, she would have won 2 Oscars for her role in Hereditary. I don't know how, but she would have done it. She is amazing in everything that she touches, but the big standouts for me, Muriel's Wedding, Hereditary, Little Miss Sunshine, Sixth Sense, they're all masterpieces. Any thoughts?
Mm-mm.
A lot of love for United States of Terra. And Reggie says fell in love with Colette and Muriel's Wedding as well. Go ahead.
All right. My next one is Rose Byrne.
Oh, interesting pick.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very horror-heavy list for you.
I wonder why. Of course, Insidious. I believe she's been in all of them. We haven't seen all of them.
She has not been in all of them, I don't think, because like one or two of them was a prequel.
Okay, like I said, we haven't seen all of them.
Right.
She was super funny in Bridesmaids. That's one of my favorite comedy movies. Her pairing with Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph, and that other one that I can't think of, Melissa McCarthy. There we go.
It's coming out of me like hot lava.
And she was in Neighbors too. Probably not.
And Neighbors 1.
I'm done. Good night.
That was such a stupid joke to make. Oh man.
Anyway, I think Insidious is obviously what sticks out to me for what she's done.
Rachel wants to know, have you seen Damages? Rose Byrne is fantastic on that. We have not seen Damages, unfortunately. Rose Byrne, that's an interesting choice. I don't think many people would have called her out. Interesting. Wasn't she in Spy Hard as well? I think it's just Spy. That was Melissa McCarthy. I don't remember if Rose Byrne was in that one as well. Rose Byrne is hilarious in the Apple TV show Platonic. Not enough people have seen that one. We don't have Apple TV Plus, so we haven't seen anything on there, unfortunately. There's a lot of people correcting their spelling. Oh, I guess it's all Sibner. What are we on? My number 3. She was a baddie in Spy. Okay. I only really remember a couple things, like Jason Statham was hilarious in Spy. My next one, we have not talked about this one, and she is one that I first saw in 101 Dalmatians. I have to go with the master, Glenn Close. Glenn Close has... Ooh, wait. I think I saw Hook first, and technically she's in Hook. She plays... she dresses as one of the male pirates in Hook.
Shut up.
I swear.
She doesn't.
Yes, she does. I forgot about Hook.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I adore Glenn Close. My favorite thing with her is actually not a film. It's a TV show. My favorite show of all time is The Shield. And she's a guest star. I think her role only lasts on season 4 of The Shield. It might cross over to like one episode of the next season, but she is mind-blowing on The Shield. But her film roles have been wonderfully chosen, incredibly acted. She is able to choose. Ryan, why is that surprising that the first time I saw Glenn Close was in 101 Dalmatians? You know how old I am, right? I'm not that much younger than you, but God, I'm trying to look up what year that came out. When did 101 Dalmatians come out? Does anybody know? That had to be like 98, right? Or no, earlier than that.
Why don't you just search 101 Dalmatians instead of Glenn Close?
Oh, I don't know. It was 96. Okay, listen. You're surprised. I was 9 years old when 101 Dalmatians came out. 9! How is that surprising? Like, yeah, that's obvious. Of course, that's the first thing I saw her in. Oh, except for Hook, I think. The Shield's amazing. She was great in Garp, yes. Not sure when I first saw Fatal Attraction. Glenn Close is the star of Damages, so double recommend. Amazing. I didn't know that. I've never seen Damages. Right.
And I was younger.
Yep, she was only 7. Hilarious. A couple other ones. She was in Air Force One, which I liked at the time. But the big one for me, Mars Attacks. I adore that movie. That movie is so great. When do we get Mars Attacks on 4K? Have you seen Mars Attacks? It's another Tim Burton movie. You'd love it.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Really like Mars Attacks. Big fan of it. Yeah. That's all I got. Go ahead.
You talking about her and Hook reminded me of Robin Williams, and I feel like now
I'm amazed you didn't list Robin Williams.
I'm kind of beating myself up for that. So, honorable mention to Robin Williams. He definitely could have done a lot more creative work.
And speak of that, it was just the anniversary of his death, so rip to him. But in remembrance of that, we have an episode of Film Foundations coming up on Robin Williams with Stephen Billings from the Chasing Labels podcast. And it's great. Go ahead.
Okay. Keeping up with the horror theme here. Vera Farmiga. Vera. Why are you laughing at me?
Because it's Rose Byrne, essentially.
The Conjuring, all of that series, The Nun, Annabelle. I think she plays Warren, I can't think of her first name, really well. She was also an Orphan. Another one of my favorite horror movies. And one that I saw more recently, Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't like her.
I was not looking down on her. I was just laughing because the reason you fell in love with her was The Conjuring, which is basically like the same thing as Rose Byrne.
I have a type for movies, I guess.
Let's see. Vera Farmiga rocked as Norma Bates on Bates Motel. First Vera was Autumn in New York. He's old. Oh, I love the emoji. Running Scared slaps. I love Running Scared. Great movie. Yeah, decent pick. Off the wall pick. My number 4 is classic. Jodie Foster. She is, again, just like Glenn Close, kind of just great in everything she touches. Same as Toni Collette. First, Jodie Foster was probably Silence of the Lambs, which made me fall in love with her acting ability. Obviously, Taxi Driver was a discovery after that. She has done so much. I mean, even the original like Disney stuff that she had done, and then no, Ryan, not Running Scared with Billy Crystal, the remake. The remake with what's his name from Fast and Furious that killed himself in the car. Paul.
He didn't kill himself.
Well, the tree did, or whatever it was.
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker, that's his name. Yeah, with Paul Walker.
I know her from Flight Plan.
I did not first see Jodie Foster in Contact, but Contact is good. Yeah, Flight Plan, I know you love that one. She's great. Pretty much in everything. I feel like she elevates every single film that she touches. And the fact that she did that from the beginning with stuff like Taxi Driver is mind-blowing. Her work in that when she was that young should not have been able to be that nuanced. I don't know. There's so much to appreciate, and every single time I've seen Taxi Driver, it's always, I don't know, it's always like something different that you notice about her. I also really love Maverick. That's a great movie. Good call. God, I haven't seen Maverick in ages. We should watch Maverick.
Whatever you want to
do. All right, go ahead with yours. I think we're on number 4 now.
Yep.
One left.
I think you're gonna.
Am I gonna laugh?
No, I feel like if we were to pick the same actress, this would have been one.
Ooh, it's not, but okay.
I know it's probably not. Kate Siegel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I say it would have been the same one, and then you're like, who's that?
Yeah.
Of course, her most recent stuff that I love is the stuff with TV stuff. Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, Follow the House of Usher. I love her in all of that. Hush was another great one that I loved her in, and Gerald's Game. For some reason, when I was first thinking of that, I thought it was Hilary Swank, and it wasn't.
She was in Gerald's Game?
Mm-hmm.
Who was she in Gerald's Game?
The person she played. Good question. I didn't write down characters.
Because the main character is Carla Gugino.
Let me look.
Anyways. It was a good pool, though.
And I know that you like, obviously, her husband. And maybe you'll get to interview him one of these days.
I've tried.
That would be nice.
What are you showing me?
Is it the TV?
That's the movie. But
right. She's the main person.
No, that's Carla Gugino.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, man. I love that you're looking at the poster going, look.
That is such a big fail right now.
Oh, this is fun.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, that was great.
Okay, but I also like her.
Hilarious. Yeah, she's pretty good.
I'm sorry.
I will
but
say
also her.
She's really great.
Yeah.
Kate Siegel is amazing in Hush. I don't know that I know any other film she's been in. All the other stuff has been Flanagan series.
Man, now that I'm rethinking it, I might have been trying to find her, and I found Kate Siegel. Anyway, I like Kate Siegel too, and her.
Carla Gugino's great.
We'll put them together.
Kate Gugino, got it. So my last one is one that I talked to Laura about this week, and that is Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita Nyong'o is, again, somebody that can take any single role and transform it into something that you're not prepared for. I don't remember the first thing I actually saw her in. But I mean, she's been fantastic in the Black Panther movies. And the big thing for me is I think she's what made Jordan Peele's Us an incredible movie. She is able to take that film from probably what would have been like a 3.5-star film to a 4.5-star film for me. She plays two roles, obviously, like just about everyone in that movie. There's another one in that movie that could have been a great actress too. Anyways, but sleeper for Lupita would be, I think everybody needs to look at Little Monsters. It is a zombie comedy from a handful of years ago that she did with, unfortunately, Josh Gad, who is not great. But Little Monsters was amazing, and she is so good in it. Oh, look at that. Ryan just came in at the exact same time. She makes everything but low-key great in Little Monsters. Completely glad you said that, so it's not just me. I've appreciated every single role that she's played. I think that she has a huge career ahead of her, and can't wait to see what's next. Go ahead.
I'm still trying to recover from my flub.
It's okay. Worse things have happened.
I'm really sad about it. Okay, my last one, and mentioned during my Johnny Depp is
Helena Bonham Carter.
Winona Ryder.
Oh, good pick.
Obviously, more recently, she's been in Stranger Things, which I've thoroughly enjoyed watching her in. But I think the very first thing that I saw her in was The Crucible. I believe that was another school movie. And I just clearly remember her like poking herself with the needle or whatever it was, just harming herself. So I think that one was first. And then, Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands. She started young and she's still going, and I enjoy the stuff that she puts out. Looking forward to seeing her in the new Beetlejuice, and whenever Stranger Things decides that it wants to come out.
Next year, I believe.
I know. So, yeah.
Have you ever seen Heathers? I don't know that you have.
Heathers?
Yeah. It is her best role ever.
Mm-mm.
And I don't know how you haven't. Amazing movie for her and Christian Slater. It's a masterpiece. Absolutely an incredible film. probably super influential on things like Stranger Things, actually. Really great movie. Huge film. First film was Beetlejuice on VHS, says Sibner. I think for me, that would be the same for Winona as well. It's absolutely time to watch Heathers, clearly. Yeah, good pick. That's not one I would have thought of you bringing up. Alex points out there's still time to say Jenna Rollins. I've not seen enough Jenna Rollins to be able to say that. I think I've seen 4 or 5 movies, but absolutely rest in peace to Jenna Rollins this week. Great picks. Why don't you shout it out, Ryan? The New World Pictures podcast has done multiple interviews with individuals that worked on Heathers. Very important film in the New World list there. Any thoughts? Any You're actually sad. It's okay. I'm glad you did this. Thanks for doing this with me.
Thanks for having me.
You made this a great night. I'm glad that everybody was welcoming as usual, and hope you enjoyed this. I enjoy my wife a lot. She's an incredible person, and I'm glad that you were so supportive and willing to come onto the show, and understanding that I mean it by saying that it's like a birthday honor to have you here.
Birthday honor?
Yeah, I'm like, I wanted to make you feel special and inviting me into my circle on your birthday. I hope that it felt important.
It does.
Oh, I love you.
I love you. I challenge you to second Disney trivia.
I can smoke you on Disney trivia any day. KB says, good job.
I won the first
I don't want to talk about it. Ronnie says, excellent choices, you two. Good job from Sibner. Anthony says, thank you so much for tonight. Episode's been great. Please appear again in the future. You got to come back now.
Just talk about something that I know more about. So I'm not flubbing.
Next time, maybe we'll literally just do like top 5 Disney from a certain period of time.
No, don't. No, I have a hard time picking favorite things. Like this was hard for me because I'm not like this is my absolute favorite thing. I just like.
No, I
like or I don't like.
I get it.
It's hard to pick favorites.
Sam's happy. Rachel says, hope you have a wonderful rest of your birthday.
Thank you.
Top 5 Salute Your Shorts episodes. Not one mention of you selling those Blu-rays, so that's a win. Absolutely. Laura gets mad if I go to sell something.
Oh, yeah, I don't like it. He needs to keep all of the things.
Speaking of, I got to put the packages together. Anyways, thanks for hanging out on this wonderful Thursday. I'm going to go try to make sure that she has a good rest of her birthday. I appreciate you all for hanging out tonight, and we will see you on next Thursday. And it's always a great one, but next Thursday in particular is going to be fun because Gage Hogston is our guest again. He's always great coming on here, coming back from Norman Studios. Gage, looking forward to next Thursday. Appreciate you all. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. And on that note, have a good night. Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share with someone else that may appreciate this.